Well, there's box office, and then there's Nottingham versus Sheffield in a winner-take-all semifinal. It is semifinal number 2 from a sold-out Motorpoint Arena in Nottingham a little bit earlier on. An upset. The Cup and League champions felled 5-0 by the Cardiff Devils. A 5-0 performance, a 32-save shutout for Ben Bounds to knock the Belfast Giants into that third, fourth place game. So the Cardiff Devils are back at the hotel. They're hydrating, getting physio, and they're awaiting the winner of this game. Aaron Murphy alongside Paul Adey. You know all about this rivalry. You've played for both these teams. You've coached the Nottingham Panthers. Talk about how special a knockout game is between the Panthers and the Steelers.
Yeah, it's an intense rivalry, and coming together at playoff finals weekend in the semifinal, it's big for both clubs, both fan bases, and it's a special moment. And it's hard to explain how intense it is between these two teams. Maybe not as intense as it used to be 10 years ago, because there was a lot more fighting in the game, but still, that intensity, that rivalry is there. And the interesting thing is, Sheffield, when they come in on finals weekend, always play well here against Nottingham. But this year, I think Nottingham have had a lot of momentum in the second half of the season. I really feel Nottingham are in a good place to maybe win one this time and possibly move on to the final. But the Steelers are tough, especially tough here in this rink. It's going to be an interesting battle.
Last playoff title for the Nottingham Panthers. You got to go back to 2016. And of course, the Sheffield Steelers are the defending playoff champions. They won the treble last year. How much tastier is that for first-year head coach Danny Stewart to try and knock off the defending champions in Sheffield?
He's certainly going to want to, finish the season with some silverware. They've had a good season. They came on strong and looked like they might sneak the title in the end. But the Giants fought hard to win it, and that's probably why we saw them a bit, not so much energy in that semifinal game. They had to fight so hard for so long to win the league. But the Panthers had that momentum, and Danny Stewart knows that. He knows his team is confident. He's getting great goaltending from Grande. He's feeling good about this game. Panthers are feeling good about their chances here. But the Steelers are always tough against the Panthers. And let's not forget about Greenfield. You were talking about him a lot yesterday, and he has been outstanding. You saw him against the Clan, how good he was. So he can win a game on his own also.
Mr. 40 save performance, it seems, on repeat for Greenfield. So Greenfield, Grande, Stewart versus Fox behind the bench. We saw earlier in the 5-0 win for Cardiff over Belfast. It's a cauldron of noise here. Sold out at Motorpoint Arena. We talked about it a lot at the fan forum last night. This is a special weekend when all 10 fan bases come together, and certainly there's a lot of Sheffield orange just down below us in the commentary position. Matt Greenfield gets to start. Curtis Warburton will be the backup. But how about that starting trio? Ciampini, Watling, and Balmas. Watling had the overtime winner to punch their ticket past the Clan to this Final Four.
Yeah, that's a good start from them. Aaron Fox knows this line can produce, especially in the big games. We've seen Ciampini play some of his best hockey here in the finals weekend, especially last year. I thought he was outstanding. So they have a really good, 4 lines that can go out and play hard. A bit like we saw Cardiff in that first game. They can do the same thing, Sheffield. They have that depth in numbers.
And how about Jason Grande? Well, 1-1 in the playoffs, but he had a scintillating 1.72 goals against average, 9.49 save percentage since arriving to replace the injured Bednard. And Alfaro, Doherty, Fossey, important. Fossey had a big hat trick recently, and this is a huge matchup. We talked about, we said, box office and box office. How about this guy? 36 wins in the regular season for Matt Greenfield. He had a 2.24 goals against average. No idea. They had a 9.28 save percentage, but this is a guy who is, over the last 2 years, has been the best goalie in the league, hands down.
He has been, and he can play big when needed, and they're going to depend on him, I think, a lot in this game. I think the Panthers will get their opportunities, will get their chances. He's going to have one of his best performances of the season for the Sheffield Steelers to walk away with the win in this. And you look at Robert Dowd, one of these players who seems to play his best in the big pressure games for the Sheffield Steelers. He's scored some big goals here in Nottingham for the Steelers over the years, and he's going to want to pull another one over the Panthers, get another big win over the Panthers in this one.
Proud captain, they will not go gently. They also know there was a bit of an upset earlier, so they're going to want to start on time here against the third-ranked team led by Jason Grande. Of course, Sheffield finished second in the league action, but Grande has been quite the pickup. And you wanted to look at Tim Doherty because he can do a little bit of everything, and he's had a good playoff so far.
Yeah, he seems to make things happen when he's out there on the ice, gets his opportunities, and he's able to put the puck away. He's had a good playoff at this point, and that line, with Fossey also, Alfaro have been very, very good. That's the line that if you're the Steelers, you're going to want to try to stop in this one because they've been hot in the playoffs.
And Tim Doherty, he had a good playoff against the Flames. We just talked to Paul Dixon outside. He said, that second leg kind of summed up their season, but much like you talk about the Glasgow Clan pushing Sheffield to overtime, it's just such a special time of year, and to get to this Final Four is such an important part for all the teams that are in contention that make the Final Eight. We're going to head back down to Chris Ellis and get his view between the benches of this Final Four. We already know Cardiff are through. Ellie, how are you doing ringside?
The atmosphere down here is insane. The great thing about this one, you've got Sheffield one side, they've got glowing orange one side. The other side, the Panthers fans, they've got yellow dusters. It's an absolutely electric noise between what is the two biggest rivals in British ice hockey. I think the team news is interesting. Just seen, of course, Rhys Kelly is scratched. Nottingham Panthers, for the first time in probably a couple of dozen games, they've had to scratch a player. Every player trained this morning, every player was fit, and the man to miss out tonight is Otto Niemann. So Reed Stefansson comes back into the side, but Otto Niemann doesn't play for the Panthers.
So Rhys Kelly out, Otto Niemann out, and that's a tough pill to swallow, because you talk about it's important for all 8 teams to get to the quarterfinals. They want to get here, win, lose, or draw. You want to be at the Final Four. Well, if you're a player on a team that makes it to the Final Four, you don't want to be that scratch.
No, you don't. And sometimes teams don't talk. It could be an injury there somewhere, and that's why you're scratched also, not just because you're a scratch. So who knows what goes behind the scenes. But Aaron Fox got to make some tough decisions, as does Danny Stewart. And at the end of the day, you're going to go with the guys you think are going to get you the big win here.
We said ahead of semifinal number 1, and we hope you joined us for that earlier, because it was a big win for Ben Bowens and the Cardiff Devils. So important. They'd been hammered throughout most of the league. I mean, the Giants had their number, let's be honest. They were 6-0 against them, beat them in the Challenge Cup final, and at times heavy scorelines. We said it was so important for Cardiff to get that first goal and to get a few saves early on, which they did, and they rolled on to that 5-0 victory. How important is the first goal between these two bitter rivals in semifinal 2?
Well, percentage-wise, a lot of teams who score first in these one-off games win. So it's a very important first goal. But with these two teams, it's more unpredictable, I think, than against the Giants and the Devils, because anything can happen when these two teams match up. We've seen teams come back from 2, 3, 4 goals and come back and win games between these two clubs. So, the intensity and the passion is there, and teams can produce goals quickly in this rivalry. We've seen it. So I wouldn't count anybody out if they get down a goal or two.
Special teams could be the key here. We saw the Belfast Giants in semifinal 1 go 0 for 5 on the power play. Great penalty killing efforts from the Cardiff Devils. And is that the defining factor between these two teams?
Could be. I mean, power play is so important. You've got to take advantage of your opportunities on the power play. You can't go 0 for 5 and expect to win a game, or even 0 for 4. You need at least 1 if you're going to get 4 chances. And if you do better than that, then you got a real good chance of winning the game. But you're also on the other side of it. You want to stay out of the penalty box. You don't want to give a team who's got a good power play the opportunity. So you might play less physical in a game because they have such a great power play. And, there's things you can do to take away that power play from teams that are really good in the power play.
Well, we're live on Premier Sports tomorrow for the grand final at 5 p.m. We'll be on air from 4:30. We know the Cardiff Devils will be in that grand final. Who will be their opponent? Well, we'll know in about 2.5 hours' time. These two teams, we talked about it earlier. Is this, though, a situation where Cardiff get the extra 4 or 5 hours rest, and Nottingham Sheffield, it's kind of like their Game 7. You want to beat your bitter rival. Does this later start, and whoever goes through here, are you emotionally drained? Are you able to reset for that grand final?
Oh, you're right. That's a bit of a problem for whoever comes away with the win. And if you're Cardiff, you're going to sit back and hope this game goes into overtime. You want this game to last all night if possible. And a good set of officials there, Murph.
Yeah, Joe Sewell and Andy Dalton in charge of this one. Danny Beresford and Nathan Carmichael on the lines. Much like it's an honor for the players and the teams to make the Final Four, it's an honor for the officials to be chosen as the 8 best, so to speak.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it's an exciting time of the year, even for the officials.
Greenfield gets the start, no surprise. Sacha Guimont and Kevin Tansey. Tansey's played forward in defense this year. He's a tough character. He had that big fight against Felix Paré in leg 1 of the quarterfinals. Usala had a magnificent season for the men in orange, led them with goals at 27. Robert Dowd, the captain, another solid season as well. So an important starting 6 there. Jason Grande, Jean Bourgarat, the Hungarian international, with Matt Spencer, Fossier, Alfaro, and Doherty up front.
Yeah, good start there from the Panthers, going with their top line, the line that's been their best line in the playoffs. Who's produced for them? Danny Stewart trying to get him out on the ice early to get a good scoring opportunity, even get maybe an early goal for the Panthers.
I was in the elevator earlier with Danny Stewart. He's got a spring in his step. Why not? Like, he's a first-year head coach. They went down to that final weekend against Belfast with a chance to win the title themselves. They did get through to the Challenge Cup semifinals. They knocked the Clan out of the playoff play-in game in the Cup. So they've had a successful season. They were 9th last year. He got them to 3rd in the table. Right up until that final weekend, they were in the hunt. So safe to say a finals appearance, a grand final appearance for Danny Stewart, and all the boxes would have been ticked in this first season.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy when you come into a new club, especially if you're going to one of the big clubs in this league. There's a lot of pressure. It does take a bit of time to figure out your team, figure out who you want to play together, and get used to the environment. I think Danny Stewart did that very well, and the team got better and better as the season went along, so he's going to be really happy. But I think he'll be even happier if they can pull off a playoff win.
Robert Dowd, Marco Vallerin, who struggled to gain fitness, a couple of injuries, but Marco Vallerin, wearing number 88, will give it a go. He certainly gave it a go in leg 2 against the Glasgow Clan. The Sheffield Steelers, well, they needed overtime. It was a 5-4 aggregate win in the quarterfinals over Corey Nielsen's Glasgow Clan. Nottingham defeated the Guildford Flames in their quarterfinal, 8-6 on aggregate. But tear up the form book, as we saw earlier between Cardiff and Belfast. Doesn't matter what has happened previous. It's all about the next 2.5 hours. Aaron Murphy alongside Paul Adey, as we saw Chris Ellis rinkside. Nice to have the band back together, but nice to have all 10 fan bases here enjoying their hockey at Motor Point Arena.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic atmosphere right now. When you get Sheffield and Nottingham matching up, I mean, it just goes up another level. And right now, both fan bases, Sheffield and Nottingham, on their feet. They're ready for this one, Murph.
Sheffield 77 points, 2nd in league play. Nottingham 74, 3rd. And we mentioned the Panthers ousting the Flames in the quarterfinals, the Steelers ousting the Clan. How great is it to see Dean Woolley, one of the great photographers around the league? He had an accident a little while ago. He's back to full fitness. A shout out to Luke Fisher, who had a bit of a medical issue, and Luke is on the mend. So to anyone tuning in that's had a bit of a rough time lately, hopefully you can sit back and enjoy this semi-final number 2 between two of the biggest rivals in the Elite Ice Hockey League. Sam Herr announcing that he is going to retire and needs to do some things family-wise. So this is an important moment, a special moment for Sam Herr. And Robert Dowd, the golden child. He's not a child anymore. 17 goals in the league, 6 times an EIHL champion, league champion, Robert Dowd.
Yeah, 2 great players, and two players, they know that in this game they got to lead their teams, and they know they have to have big games and get their teammates going. And Herr's been fantastic in Nottingham, and Dowd, as you know, has been just tremendous for the Steelers over the years.
Listen to the roar of the crowd at Motor Point Arena, semi-final number 2, just moments away on Elite League TV. We're live for the grand final on Premier Sports Television tomorrow from 4:30 for a 5 p.m. face-off. The Cardiff Devils, a 5-0 win over the Belfast Giants earlier on. They'll be awaiting the winner of this storied matchup. So far in the playoffs, Sheffield 20% on the power play, perfect on the penalty kill, 100% against the Clan in their quarterfinal. Nottingham, wow, 66.7% on the power play against the Flames, but conversely, just 25% of the penalty kill. So they had a bit of an up and down performance against the Flames, especially when it comes to special teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard to judge in the playoff the special teams because it's a couple of games before you get to the semifinals. But you look up over the season, gives you a better idea on how these two teams have done. But both these two teams are very capable of scoring goals. But on the other side of it, both these two teams have great goaltending. So when you're on the power play, you're going up two of the top goalies in the league. It's not going to be easy to score goals in this one, Murph.
Greenfield had a .943 save percentage against the Clan in the quarterfinals. Grande had a .917 save percentage against the Flames in their quarterfinal matchup. It's a good point by you. Sheffield's power play in regular season play was 21.1%. The Panthers 16.7%, but the Panthers were lights out on the penalty kill, just a shade over 80%. But all the numbers, all the past form, as we said, you can throw the form book out. It's a one-on-one knockout. It's a game 7 between two teams that dislike each other vehemently. The puck is down. We're underway. Semi-final number 2. Jean-Borg Garat will dump it in, the Hungarian international. Getting there first is Sasha Guimont, former ECHL Defenseman of the Year. Juusola to Tansey. Tansey joining the rush right away. He bounces off of Garat, but then Alfaro comes in and finishes his hit off, and Garat knocked Tansey over. Whistle. Brandon Whistle. Tansey. No icing as it's touched on the way through. Spencer got there ahead of Juusola, and now Alfaro. Alfaro works it along, and they're away. Fossier. Out wide. Spencer sends it cross ice. Good sticks and lanes from Sheffield. Good defensive unit, of course. Doherty had his stick lifted. Doherty stays with it. It will be Cormier with a good defensive bit of work there. Ciampini knocked off the puck by Nishkala. Grande leaves it for the speedy Cooper Zek. Now knocked down by her. The captain rumbles away. Hugo Waugh couldn't get on the other end of that pass as it bobbled around at the blue line. Her back to Cooper Zek, who had injury problems in the lineup. He is lights out, and here's a tap in. Waugh to her, and her couldn't slide it past the fall in Greenfield. So the first grade A opportunity goes to the Panthers, and it just went by the wayside. Wickers trying to A-frame and protect the puck, does so. Kontos against Watling. Watling, who had the overtime winner against Glasgow to send Sheffield through to defend their playoff crown. And what's the old saying, Paulie? You never bet against the defending champions until the defending champions are done. So the Steelers are going to be a tough out in this one.
Yeah, they are, and they've had a good start. Tansey jumping up in the play early. So Sheffield activating the defenseman, but Panthers also getting the defenseman up the ice quick, so both teams not sitting back in this one, Murph.
Yeah, Her looked like he was going to tap that home. Unfortunately for him, just not able to get good wood on that pass from Waugh. As Greenfield came out to play shot, Greenfield really makes a mistake. Here's Spencer. Glove down by Greenfield. He will hold on for a face-off in the Steelers zone.
Yeah, both teams also aggressive early in the forecheck. I mean, Panthers, when they don't see any passing lanes, they're getting to the red line. They're just trying to get the puck deep, but they're going hard with two hours. There's the opportunity there. Good job coming back from the Steelers, not giving up on the play. And it's good puck movement there from the Panthers, but good back check in the end.
Levens. Guimont out wide. Lucky 13, Levens puts on the brakes. Henbrandt closed him out quickly. Tansey up and over the right shoulder of Grande wide. Kept in at the left point. Tetlow. Jam play by Tremblay. Handled by Jason Grande. Spencer boxes out on Tremblay. Tetlow as well. Two big defensemen there, making sure Grande can just cover up.
Yeah, Grande's going to grab that straight away. He just wants to get a whistle. He's not going to give the Steelers a long shift in his end of the ice, so smartly he grabs it as quickly as he can and gets the whistle for his teammates. And right now, you know, the referee's really keeping an eye on the changes, making sure everything's done correctly.
Dowd can't get the draw against Alfaro. Here's Doherty. Knocked into the glass. Huttala. Inch that along. Alfaro backs off and lets Garat join the fracas along the half wall. Doherty and Garat can't move the puck against Dowd, who's strong on his stick. Dowd trying to push it through now. Brandon Whistle couldn't find it. Juusola does, and Cormier was alone out there, but he couldn't get the puck across. Zek quickly ahead, and the Panthers attack. Jean-Borg Garat can't get the puck in deep on the first time of asking. Second time gets it in, but it's Whistle. Brandon Whistle to Juusola, past Alfaro. And now Juusola with a nice dangle, but Fossier had his stick lifted. It looked like Fossier was going to skate that to safety, but Juusola was strong there and won the puck back. Here's Dowd. Dowd to Juusola. Mikko Juusola back to Huhtala. Huhtala with the shot. Blocked by Jean-Bord Garat. Doherty worked hard to get that out, but he was hit by Juusola. And Huhtala and Juusola, they know each other well, two products of Finland, but they are immense for the Sheffield Steelers.
Yeah, they're top players, and just looking at this game, it's going to be a battle of inches, isn't it? I mean, both these two teams, those one-on-one battles are going to be key in this one. At the end of the day, it's going to be who wants it more. You can just see the intensity out there early in this one.
Shudra played the puck in deep. Tremblay takes a hit from her. Diffley. Dumped in by Saucerman, who was a part of that treble-winning team last year, a big part of the core. Wickers. Shudra finished his hit off. You're right, it could be a war of attrition out here, inch by inch, face-off by face-off. No stoppage on the plays. Diffley got pushed off the puck there, and you can see her was complaining about a high stick. Referees say play on. Tremblay forces the puck out over the line, gives it away to Hugo Waugh, and her will attack on the right side. Flips it through on the backhand, and Saucerman will just play it up the wing. It's Finley Ulrich. Grande will hold it up as we hit 5 quick minutes gone here in the first period of semifinal number 2. Buns flipping and chasing. Kelsel as well. It will be sent up the other way by Balmas. Spencer into the neutral zone, and Balmas takes over. He was being watched by Kelsel. Guimont. Balmas to Ciampini. Down the left side. Stephenson trying to keep him to the outside, but Ciampini through on the brakes. Comes back to the point. Guimont, he's patient. Goes to Watling. It's redirected by Ciampini, but wide, and then Stephenson closes him out, and now, well, a battle between Ciampini and Stephenson.
Yeah, a real battle there down low, and Steelers trying to put some pressure on, but the Panthers have dealt fairly well with the Steelers' forecheck. You can see both teams changing quickly, going with the short shifts. Steelers slowing the play down right now, waiting for everybody to get on the ice. You can see they got one stretch man up through the middle of the ice down at the far blue line, just trying to pull a defenseman. Good play here, Murph.
Tansey to Valorant stopped by Grande. Well, calm as you like. 6'3" netminder Grande comes out to the top of the blue paint and says to Valorant, it's going to have to be a perfect shot if you want to beat me, and he could not accomplish that. Huhtala brings it right back in. Huhtala, and again a big save by Grande, so he's seen the puck well. Big save on Valorant, big save on Huhtala. Alfaro being worked over by Levens. Spencer. Nishkala past Fossier, and that's going to end up on the bench. But what a pace to this early first period action between the Steelers and Panthers.
Yeah, real good pace, and you can see a little niggly stuff going on down there on the ice, a little chippiness. We'll watch the replay here. Valorant escapes through the middle. I don't know what happened to the Panthers there. Well, I do know what happened is the defenseman took the winger who was in the middle of the ice, and he came out, opened up the middle, but no one covered for him. And there's the opportunity for Valorant. Grande, a great save there. Panthers needed that early in as well, fairly early in this first period.
Face off just outside the zone, whistle against Alfaro. Alfaro wins it. Nishkala shovels it into the corner. Saucerman plays it up on the right side. Dowd trying to get it quickly ahead to Juusola, intercepted by Zek. Zek trying to weave his way through, but Diffley pushes it to safety, and Juusola now out through the neutral zone as Nishkala comes back to Zek. Cooper Zek to Fossier, flipped into the corner. Saucerman to Dowd. Dowd with some time, some space, gets it to Whistle. Floats it into the corner as the Dowd line wanted to make a change and does so. Logan Nielsen pushes it ahead to Buns. Buns will flip it in, just gaining the red line, sending it in. Contos trying to get there, but it's going to go around the horn to Ciampini. Ciampini forced back by Nielsen. Diffley. Guimont. Watling slides it in beyond the goal line. Now Buns. Ciampini intercepts. Nielsen came back, but it was pushed back to Guimont, who goes D to Tansey. Tansey, a big man, rumbling forward. He's happy to dump and chase, and he'll get there ahead of Buns, and he runs Buns over. Good play by Tansey. Watling keeps in at the right point, goes D to D. We'll come back to Balmas, to Guimont. Guimont trying to get that past Buns, perhaps back to Ciampini in the bumper, but could not do it. Tansey will keep it in at the right point. Goes to Balmas. Balmas with the drag, Balmas with the shot, and it's up and over the crossbar on the right shoulder of Grande. Nice bit of skill by Balmas, but he couldn't hit the target. Herr will dump it in as it's end-to-end action here at Motor Point.
Yeah, one thing the Steelers like to do in the offensive zone, we saw it on that play, they bring that third forward up high, and then he drifts in, gets some good scoring opportunities that way, but they've had a lot of success with that.
It's going to bounce out of play. You got Aaron Fox down there with his assistant coach, Carter Beston-Will, and Danny Stewart with Linton Grant there between the benches, and we'll go down to Chris Ellis for an update.
Standing here looking at the Panthers bench, and the equipment manager here, Mitch Bowler, and he does something that I think a lot of equipment managers do. When the face-off goes down for the centre, he has his hand, his thumb, on the stick of the centre, because if he needs to get that, because if the stick breaks, he will pass it to him. He's by far and away not the only one that does it in the league. Definitely seen to happen the Belfast Giants. But it reminds me of that story of the Toronto Maple Leafs equipment manager, Bobby Hastings, I think. He gave the broken stick, he gave the stick to Mitch Marner, I think, who broke away and passed to a teammate when Toronto scored a very important goal. May have happened this season, may have been a couple of years ago. But what it does show is how vital an equipment manager's actions can be. And I've just been watching Mitch here. He's about to do it now. He's got his hand on his stick now, just as we go down for the face-off of Reed Stephenson. And of course, if Reed needs that stick for a broken stick, Mitch is ready to hand it to him. Really fascinating.
That's a great update, because it's true. The equipment manager is the heartbeat of any EIHL squad, and you had some good ones in your days, including Jason Ellery Taff, who's also the GB equipment manager, stalwart in Belfast, and certainly Mitch Bowler, one of the young up-and-coming equipment managers. Long-range shot handled by Grande. Tremblay was just trying to get that puck on target, but Grande, much like Greenfield, any shot from there is going to be tough to beat him. Garat. Up the middle, that's a great pass to Ollie Betteridge. Betteridge slots it into the corner for Kelsel. Kelsel had his shirt grabbed there by Levens. Play goes on. Betteridge against Cormier. Betteridge comes away after that battle with Levens, and they force it back to Niskala. Niskala decided, I better back up as Tremblay's going to win that 50-50 puck, and Tremblay indeed does. Cormier redirected that, and Grande will hold on for a defensive zone face-off Panthers.
Yeah, and Sheffield coming up the ice again with their defensemen through the middle of the ice, creating a 4-on-3. You see right there, the puck goes forward, but Lutala was wide open in that slot area. No one from the Panthers got back in time, but he came up from the back of the ice and stopped there looking for a rebound. But he was open, and they missed that. The Steelers, good opportunity missed.
Whistle. A false start against Alfaro. Face-offs in the playoffs, Sheffield 48.1%, Nottingham 50.3% in the quarterfinals. Betteridge calling off his whistle, won it back cleanly. Diffley with the shot through, it bounces in front of Grande, but Doherty will wrap up. Whistle with that important offensive zone face-off, and all that pressure. When you win those offensive zone face-offs, it leads to good things, but the Panthers will steady the ship as Doherty will dump it in. Saucerman past Diffley. Here's Alfaro. Alfaro. Zek snaps it to Niskala. Now Fossier. Doherty plays it around. Saucerman will get there ahead of Alfaro. He'll throw on the brakes. Steady veteran presence of Saucerman. Levens will dump it in. Funny bounce, but because Grande is just square to the puck, it hops off his left arm and wide.
Yeah, it did take a funny bounce, so he hit the rack quick and just pushed that away from the front of the net. And those are the ones, as a goalie, you just hate.
Dumped in by Wickers. I mentioned Ollie Betteridge there in the communication off faceoffs. Talk about how important faceoffs could be between a team like these two teams. Look, there's not going to be much between them, and it's going to be physical, and we talk about a war of attrition. So you see guys communicating off faceoffs, it's vital, especially in the D zone.
Yeah, and the faceoff can win a game. Just one faceoff goal can be the difference in a game like this. So both these two teams will be well prepared on faceoffs. They'll have some, tricks up their sleeve to try something different maybe in this one to catch the opposition out. But faceoffs are really important in today's game, Murph.
Kontos and Watling in a face-off battle, but it's Buns coming away with it. Hugo Waugh will dump it in. Tansey to Watling. Watling off a skate. Won back by the Panthers. It's Hugo Waugh. Davis Buns gains the red line, floats it in. Or maybe he didn't get the red line, as it's going to come back on an icing. I thought he had strided to the center ice line, but it is an icing against the Panthers.
Yeah, he just didn't get there. Linesman was right there, so not going to miss that one. Again, the Steelers can change if they want. The Panthers can't. You can see them talking about faceoffs, but right now the Sheffield players have discussed what they're going to do on their faceoffs, so they're ready to try something here, Murph.
Watling and Contos. Tansey, well, the play was a quick one-timer as Watling wins it cleanly. Tansey was about, 9 feet in from the blue line to try and catch Grande moving from right to left.
Yeah, I mean, if there's somebody standing in front of the net, it makes it tougher on Grande, but right there, if Grande can see that, it's going for the corner, but Grande has no traffic in front. It's an easy save for him to make. It's a good play from the Steelers, but you'd be better off having someone moving to the front of the net on that shot, not away from it.
Watling tries to punch it towards the goal. It bounces to her. Tetlow floats it through the neutral zone. Tansey finds the blade of Watling, who'll just dump it in past Spencer. Tetlow to Spencer. Bounced away from Spencer, and Watling smartly plays it all the way back to Hudala. Cross ice. Well, Watling was maybe possibly away there from Buns, but pass was too far for him. Here's Spencer. Spencer rumbles his way through. It bounced off of Cormier. Ulrich. Shudra. Good play by Shudra, who can play forward in defense. He bounces off of Garat. Poked away from Hudala by Betteridge. Dowd will come all the way back, sends it across to Cormier. Ulrich tried to redirect it in, but it's going to bounce in front for Shudra, and Shudra trying to trick Grande, but Grande will hold on.
Yeah, good job from Grande hanging on to that one because the puck was moving. It wasn't a clean shot from Shudra. You can see the puck's rolling a little bit here. Does a good job to get a shot away. Grande hands nice and high. Out in front to his goal. You want to see your hands, and you can see he executes that perfectly. Makes it look easy, but he had to react quickly on that one. Grande's looked solid off the start in the first 12 minutes of his first period. He's looked good. Greenfield hasn't been tested all that much. He's probably wants a few shots down the other end.
Yeah, it's important to get those early touches, isn't it? Just kind of grow into the game. It's like guys like to take a hit or get a shot straight away. And goalies like to have a few touches. Valorant wanted to tee off on that, but it was a false start on the face-off. Tremblay. This is Alfaro. Tremblay wins it to Valorant. It was off his skate, though, so never in a shooting position. Doherty flips it out. He was hit by Tremblay, but you got to take a hit to make a play in these knockout games. Here's Una Hutala. Chasing is Tremblay. Jean-Bord Garat trying to curl back in, but Cooper Zek winning a battle. And the Panthers will get it out of harm's way through Fossier. Cormier drifting back into the defensive zone. Hudala up the middle. That's a great play. And is rumbling forward is Levens. Levens should have shot that puck. He came back through traffic for Tremblay, but I think if Levens had that to do again, he would have shot.
Yeah, he had plenty of room there to walk in, like you said, and get a good scoring opportunity. Was unselfish on the play, but sometimes you have to be greedy, and you got to get the pucks to the net.
Yeah, I think you're not going to have more than maybe a grade A period in this sort of semifinal, so you got to shoot the puck. Kelsel knocked off course by Tremblay. Una Hutala plays it behind the goal to Cormier. Ripped up the right side, and Usala got a piece of it, so no icing. Wickers backhands it up the wing. Kelsel chips it into the neutral zone. Usala all over the ice right now. Here's Dowd. Dowd to Whistle. Whistle comes back to Diffley. Activates from the point, throws it out front, looking for a redirect by Dowd, but once again, Grande's a safe pair of hands.
Well, never a bad idea just to get the puck from to the net, even from a bad angle. Watching the Panthers playing a 1-1-3 in a neutral zone, just always having a third player back. That's smart, not giving Sheffield too many odd man rushes, if any. That's a great defensive play, good stick on the ice there, just pushing that puck out from the middle of the ice. But in that situation, you got to let it rip sometimes and get pucks to the net. We saw what happened when Cardiff got pucks to the net. Good things happen.
You'll never regret a shot you take. And you know what? Levin's had a pretty good regular season with 17 goals. Test Grande, make him work for it. Watling versus Kelso to the right of Grande. Watling wins it to Diffley. Diffley protects the puck, spins away from Hugo Waugh. Watling down low for Ciampini, but a good defensive stick from Wickers. Thrown out front, paddled away by Grande. Herr pushes it to the point, but no further. Nishkala A-frames over the puck as Ciampini came in there to try and win it back. Balmas helping out as well, but Wickers will escape the left side, and then he's stripped by Ciampini out for Balmas. What a play by Nishkala. There's a couple of great defensive sticks in the last few sequences.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you need in your defensive zone. See the Panthers, collapsing down low, getting all 5 players down low, supporting the puck, supporting their teammates, making it tough on the Steelers to move the puck. Sometimes what you got to do in those situations, if you're the Steelers, you got to move the puck up high to the blue lines and free up some shots for the defenseman, crash the net, and that's where you're going to score some goals in these one-off big games. Got to get traffic in front. 2 good goalies. If you don't put some traffic in front, you're just not going to score.
5:49 remaining in the first period. Scoreless. Sheffield and Nottingham. Face off to the right of Greenfield's goal. Brandon Whistle, important defensive zone draw. Wins it. Usala. Pass too far for him. Not sure if he got a touch. It will be an icing. Looks like Dowd was knocked over on the play as well. And now Spencer and Dowd having words, but
seemed like more of an accidental
cooler
collision
heads will
here.
prevail. He just got tied up in his own feet there, didn't he? There's nothing in it.
Well, a big face-off here for the Panthers. They need to get a bit of offensive zone time here. The Panthers, with under 6 minutes left in this first period, that they need to get something going offensively. Get some chances. Put a little bit of pressure on Greenfield. Hasn't faced a lot of rubber in this first period.
Stephenson versus Whistle. We'll line it up again. Stephenson wins it back. Betteridge to Garat. Garat gets the shot through off the fingertips of Greenfield. Spencer. Diedrich Henbrandt curls into the corner away from Guimont. Spencer activates from the blue line, pushes it past Dowd, and Henbrandt wrapped up by Dowd now. Usala at his own blue line. He's got options out wide through Tansey. Tansey, little inside-out move from the big man, and a good save by Grande, but some good skill there by Kevin Tansey. Whistle punches it into the corner. Garat with a stretch pass for Henbrandt, and Henbrandt has some room, and Henbrandt moves to the middle and just patted away by Greenfield. As he looked like he passed up a shot to try and move closer into the middle there, but Greenfield wasn't buying what he was selling.
No, I mean, Greenfield stayed with it all the way. Henbrandt did a good job getting away, but there hasn't been many great opportunities. Steelers have done well in their defensive zone, closing things down.
Fossier to Buns. Buns with a shot, and Doherty got a piece of that. And Greenfield makes the save, as that will draw a crowd in front of the Steelers' crease.
I always talk about that player who's coming underneath everybody in the offensive zone. Doherty right there. Nobody picks him up, Doherty. Comes in from behind, from below the goal line. Get a lot of goals that way. If you just delay a little bit behind the play, wait for the puck to get up the blue, and then you come out at the last second, you get your scoring opportunities. And that's a good way to get a screen on the goalie also. If nobody picks you up, if they lose you, if they don't track you in their defensive zone, can take the goalie's eyes away and you can pick up a good deflection or a rebound.
Watling won the face-off. Hoodla took a hit from Doherty to get that puck free. Valorant to Watling. Watling hard angle, shoulder down by Grande. Tetlow to Doherty. Doherty into the feet of Alfaro. Turnover to Levens. Levens comes across for Watling. He was already thinking about shooting that. Fossier gains the red line. Well, no, he didn't gain the. I thought again he would gain the red line, but it's an icing call against the Panthers.
Yeah, Danny Stewart's not too happy about that one.
I don't think he should be. I mean,
the Panthers have 6 players. I guess they tried to get a change there, but here comes another guy back on the ice. They still have 6 players on the ice, so I don't know what the referees are doing here. Panthers got to get somebody off the ice. They have 6 players. They're going to have too many men on the ice, so not quite sure what's going on. At some point, they might realize, okay, there they go.
Buns is going to go to the bench, because last thing you want right now at 4:12 is
Well, I think they weren't letting them go back to the bench because they thought someone had changed wrongly. So eventually, someone's got to go back to the bench.
Face-off win by Tremblay. Diffley activates. Tremblay behind the goal, curls back against Zek. Doherty, head for Alfaro, one hands it out into the neutral zone. Saucerman gives it away to Her, knocked down by Diffley. Diffley just had the puck hop on him. Her eyeing up Saucerman. Saucerman will escape. Plays up the right side to Ulrich. Finley Ulrich, hard shot, but easily handled by Grande from distance. Niskala against Tremblay. Ulrich in the left corner, comes back to the point, and Diffley played right back in to Finley Ulrich. Tremblay to the point. Past Logan Nielsen. Cade Nielsen is sitting down to our right in the box watching his brother. And Logan has just been named to his first GB squad, which is big for confidence to make your first senior debut, isn't it?
It is, and it's a great thing to hear.
Joe Hazeldine as well.
Yeah, well, Pete Russell knows he's got to give players an opportunity. And, we're going to find out, where they're at, and I'm sure they'll both do very well.
Here's Spencer. Redirected by Her. Tansey tucks in behind Greenfield. 2:45 remaining in a scoreless first period between Sheffield and Nottingham, semi-final number 2 from the Motor Point Arena. Cardiff beating the Belfast Giants 5-0 earlier on in semi-final 1. Here's Watling away from Garat. Plays it back to the trailer. Well, he was looking for Hootla just too far.
Yeah, Hootla was wide open. He's been wide open a few times in the middle of the ice, but the Steelers just haven't been able to get the puck to him.
Right back in, though. Watling with a nice little crisscross pass, and the shot from Balmas under the blocker of Grande and out the other side. Balmas right back on the puck, dumps it in for Ciampini, but Jean-Bord Garat will get there first. He left the puck behind. Tucks it to Kelsel. Kelsel couldn't get there. Balmas with the chance, and what a stop by Grande. Hootla coming back to the bumper position. A chance for Ciampini. Tries to come back against the grain, and Grande had to skate up against the post. Balmas, Watling, and Ciampini were buzzing there, but Balmas robbed by Grande.
Yeah, they've looked good so far in this game, and they move the puck around well. They get a lot of good scoring opportunities. They've been producing. All three of them have a goal so far in the playoffs, and they're the danger line right now for the Steelers. Getting some good opportunities. It's been a physical game. Getting the puck to the blue line is key when teams collapse down low, and that works for the Steelers on this one. Ciampini's trying to bring that puck back behind Grande, but Grande keeps his foot right up against the post. And then it's not going to be able to tuck that one in. He'll have to go up, but you can't go up when you're behind, and then you just can't get enough leverage on the puck when you're in that position to put the puck up and over the pad of Grande.
Whistle wins it to Dowd. Another false start on the face-off. It's loud down there, so I think that it's hard for the linesman to communicate with the centerman. We'll do it again. Alfaro versus Whistle have had a good battle here in the opening stanza. Niskala wheeling away, goes out wide. Alfaro away from Cormier. Fossier goes to the crease and tried to come back to Doherty, and it's intercepted by Usala. Usala over the red line, over the blue line, chips it into the corner. Dowd against Niskala. Dowd comes back to the trailer. Cormier with a shot. Big save, Grande. Usala knocked over, and Wickers grabbing onto Dowd, and now Dowd getting a little rub on the head there as cooler heads have to prevail here. You can see Usala, he's looking for a loose puck, and Quinn Wickers didn't like it, and he gets pushed over in front of the crease.
Yeah, Cormier was wide open there, gets a good shot away, and the defense for Sheffield have been wide open through the middle of the ice at times, and if you're the Panthers, you're going to have to close that down at some point, because eventually the Steelers will score on that. They have some defensemen who can score from the back, and that's one area of the ice the Panthers haven't covered that well here in the first period. Apart from that, they've been very good defensively.
Contos versus Tremblay. To the left of Grande's goal. He's been the busier of the two goalkeepers. Face-off win. Valorant to Levens. Levens into the bumper position. They score! Tremblay! A howitzer from Tremblay. It's 1-0 Sheffield.
Well, it's all about getting the puck to the net quickly, and Tremblay just snaps it off straight away. Grundy doesn't have enough time to get across. I think he gets a little piece of it, but not enough. But the reason it goes in the back of the net is Tremblay just fires it straight away, doesn't wait a split second, gets it to the net quickly, gets it in the corner of the net. Let's have a good look at it here. Right into the slot area, and good movement also from Tremblay, because he's moving one way, then backs out, finds that open space. Panthers react slowly to come in and collapse and support that play. And the Steelers take advantage of it. Tremblay gives the Steelers a 1-0. They're late. We always talk about late goals in periods. Never good. But the Panthers need to react quickly here and try to get one back before the end of the first.
Her trying to counterattack quickly. Just a minute remaining in the period. Kontos trying to chip it along and does so. Kontos, the right skate. Back to her, and that's a great play by Levens to get it out. And Levens will get the primary assist on Tremblay's first goal of the playoffs. And he started the season off in the NIHL with the Sheffield Steel Dogs, and what an acquisition he's been since coming up to Sheffield in the EIHL.
What Levens does well on that play, Murph, is he allows his teammate to get open. Tremblay wasn't open for the first part of that play, but then Tremblay moves to an open area. Levens reads it, makes a perfect pass, a perfect shot. It's in the back of the net. And when I was talking about the slot area at times, the Panthers have been a little bit weak covering that slot area.
Well, Stephenson off the face-off, drifted a wrist shot under the blocker of Greenfield wide. 30 seconds remaining in the first period. Henbrandt below the dot. Betteridge wrapped up by Watling. Buns gets that shot away quickly. Came off a Ciampini's stick. Tansey up the left wing. 15 seconds remaining. Betteridge will just dump it into the offensive zone. Tansey, first man back for Sheffield. Takes a bump from Stephenson. Ciampini to Balmas. 5 seconds remaining. The bench is yelling shoot. Balmas does get the shot away, but Grande comes across and makes the save. As the buzzer will sound on an excellent opening 20 in semifinal number 2. A goal with just 1:17 left in the first period. Sam Tremblay's first from Levens. And it was a beautiful, beautiful shot, wasn't it? Just got that puck away quickly and cleanly. Strong on the stick. Levens earlier looked off a shot and we said he should have shot there. On that occasion, he shows why he likes to pass, because he's a great passer.
Yeah, it was a great play from him and a great finish from Tremblay. And how you beat top goaltenders is you get the puck to the net quickly, and that's what they did on that play, and that's why they're up 1-0.
Let's head downstairs. Chris Ellis has the assistant coach of the Nottingham Panthers, Linton Grant, on the bench.
Linton, what's your thoughts in the first period?
Obviously not great. I think we took on way too much zone time there. I would love to have got to the intermission there without giving that one up, but we've came back from worse leads than this in the season, so just got to stick with it. I think we just got to get back to our game. We just absorbed a little bit too much pressure, I thought.
Just tell us what you think about this atmosphere. It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been part of a couple interesting setups before, and I think this probably trumps a lot of them. But I think we've obviously got to feed off this energy a little bit. I think when we've been at our best this season is when we've kind of reacted well to the crowd.
Linton, thanks for joining in.
Yeah, thanks.
Great to hear from Linton Grant. It was just announced this week that he's back for another season on the bench with Danny Stewart. Wow, we're going to have to make sure that's correct. That doesn't feel like a 17-3 shots on goal period, but if it is, you're asking your goalie to deal with almost a shot a minute there. Face-offs 11-8. We'll see if that gets updated, but if that's the case, pretty dominant and probably lucky to only be down by a goal if you're the Nottingham Panthers, if that holds true.
Well, I did say they didn't. Greenfield didn't get a lot of shots against, and it was too comfortable for him. The Panthers just didn't spend enough time in the offensive zone, and they did get a couple of shots in there, but that was probably their best chance of the period. But the Steelers did a good job just taking Walton taking his man to the net there in that situation. But you'd be worried if you were the Panthers if you're averaging only 3 shots a period. You're not going to win the game with 3 shots a period. Very unlikely that you will. Sheffield created a little bit, more offensive zone time. Put Grande under. Grande came up big, made some really good saves, and kept the Panthers in this one in the first period. Sheffield found room through the middle of the ice against the Panthers way too much. And the Panthers are going to have to shut that down in the second period. They're going to have to make sure they have the middle of the ice covered. You just can't give up those quality shots. And plays like that, you've got to take the body. Someone can't walk around you in that situation. The Steelers played well in the offensive zone. There was good movement, traffic in front. Panthers did a good job down low in their zone, but it was that middle slot area that I thought they let themselves down a little bit.
Grande, I think he's the type of goalie that likes to see a lot of pucks, but you should never expect your goalie to be able to make 16, 17 saves a period. It's just far too much. But some of them were of the spectacular variety, like that one on Balmas.
Yeah, I mean, he made some great saves, but that was the one that he just couldn't get to. But it's all about getting the puck to the net quickly. That quick snapshot, it's one of the best shots you can use in that slot area. Just snapping it quick to the net, and Tremblay does that. Shows a real good touch here, but it's his movement. You move to the open space. I don't know if you remember when McDavid scored against the USA. What did he do? He moved to the open area and got the scoring opportunity. He got lost in that middle slot area, and that's what Tremblay does there, and he scores a big goal for Sheffield.
You know who's the happiest guy in the building? Tremblay. You just compared him to Connor McDavid scoring the winning goal in the Four Nations for Canada, but you're absolutely right. He kind of bumps away from coverage, and before Hugo Waugh can recover, it's past Grande.
Yeah, or even the defenseman coming out from in front of the net in that situation also. He just gets himself in the right position to get a quick shot to the net, and it's in the back of the net, 1-0 for the Steelers. But if you're the Panthers, you got to be a little bit concerned with that shot total. 3 shots just isn't enough.
We'll see if that updates in the intermission, but certainly I think there's a lot of things you do as a coach, and tell me if you got your coaching hat on. You want to win the shots on goal category, you want to win the face-off category, and you want to score first. We saw the Cardiff Devils accomplish that a little bit earlier on, and certainly the Sheffield Steelers do it in period 1.
Yeah, they did, and I think you want to get some shots to the net, of course, but you need some quality shots too. You need shots in that slot area where you can score from. It is good to take some bad angle shots and go for rebounds. Maybe you get a break like we saw with Cardiff. 2 shots went off the opposition in the back of the net. Getting pucks in is always a good thing, but you need to create some quality chances also. And the Panthers had maybe 1 chance in that period. That's just not enough.
Sheffield 1, Nottingham no score after 20 minutes of action. Welcome back. A sold-out Motor Point Arena. An exciting opening 20 minutes of action. Semi-final number 2, 1-0 after 20 in favor of the men in orange as they come back out on the ice. We're going to head down to the third member of our rink reporting side. It is Chris Ellis between the benches.
Yeah, interesting between the benches here. It's a very tense atmosphere. Obviously, the first game, it pretty much went Cardiff Devils' way. You could feel that way, and almost by the end of the second period, it was Cardiff Devils' game. But this is a really tense atmosphere, and Panthers just coming in front of me, crossing over to the left-hand side in front of me as C. Garrett comes straight down and sits on the bench. But as Linton Grant said, Panthers have come back from losses before and from being behind. Crucially for the Panthers as well, they've not had a great record in the Motor Point Arena against the Sheffield Steelers, but they did win their latest meeting, of course, 2-1 on penalty shots. Are we going that far? You feel it's going to be a close game. There's plenty of hockey to come.
Great to hear from Ellie rinkside. The shots on goal would be the concerning thing for head coach Danny Stewart. The Sheffield Steelers out shooting the Panthers 17-3.
Yeah, that's a big shot differential, and if you're the Panthers, you would be worried with only 3 shots. Danny Stewart, of course, would have went to the board between periods and said, listen guys, we need to create more offense, gave them some ideas, some tactics to use in the second period, probably changed things around a little bit from what the game plan was to start. The Steelers did good shutting the Panthers down, obviously only giving up 3 shots, so you got to give the Steelers credit for playing so well defensively, and you would expect that from an Aaron Fox team. I mean, we've seen that from the Steelers before in the playoffs. They're stingy, plus they have Greenfield in the net who doesn't give up a lot of goals. I mean, Panthers to score in Greenfield are going to need some quality scoring chances. A few shots from the outside just isn't going to cut it in this one, so the Panthers are going to have to find a way to create some good scoring opportunities. Certainly have the ability, have the forwards up front who can score goals if they get half a chance. But they know they've got to make things happen here in the second period. You always have that long change, is something you have to be careful of. The teams will try to beat you down, the far side, try to catch you out on your changes. Something maybe the Panthers might try early on, some long stretch passes, just to open up the ice a little bit, maybe in their favor a little bit, so it won't be so tight out there. But the Steelers have closed down the neutral zone very well.
Tremblay, who has the lone goal on the board, will dig in against Alfaro. 1-0 Sheffield after 20 minutes of action on Elite League TV. Earlier on, it was Cardiff 5, Belfast 0. And the Devils are through to the grand final tomorrow, a game you'll see live on Premier Sports TV from 4:30 for the 5 p.m. face-off. Here's Fossier, 3 goals and 3 assists in the playoffs against the Flames. Gets it ahead to Doherty. Doherty trying to get through. Wins the battle against Tansey. Alfaro comes in to help out as Doherty wants to play that back to the point, but it's intercepted by Marco Vallerin. Vallerin swings out wide, goes to Levins. Levins tried to drop that to Vallerin, but it's off a Panthers skate, off a Garat, and Garat's knocked over. Got the puck away, though, to Alfaro. Alfaro to Fossier. Alfaro takes a bump from Vallerin. Vallerin getting back to fitness. He had some injury woes against the Glasgow Clan in the quarterfinals. Here's Cormier. Cormier. Out wide to Watling. Cooper Zek. Keeps him to the outside, and it's intercepted by Watling across, and Grande had to come across as Ciampini redirected that, but it was up and over the bar anyway. Nishkala over the red line, shovels it into the corner. Greenfield for Cormier, past her, who's playing his last game. Gonna go back home. It's more of a family decision for Sam Herr, but he would like nothing more than over the next 2 days win a trophy in his final days as a pro athlete. Herr can't get there. Cormier. At the top of the circle, plays it into the middle. Conto's got a stick on that, and Betteridge is called off by Buns.
Well, the Steelers D has done a good job getting the puck out of their zone with some hard rims and even some D to D back to D and back the other way. So they've really taken the Panthers' forecheck out of the game. So it's going to be up to the Panthers to get more pressure on the Sheffield defense.
Diffley to Sauceman, couldn't get the puck out. Henbrand to Betteridge, it bounced off of his equipment. Couldn't get into his shooting position. Wickers will get back ahead of Whistle. So an icing call against Sheffield.
Yeah, a little bit of a long shift for the Steelers, so they're feeling it a bit right now. If you're the Panthers, you might want to get a fresh line out there. Try to get a face-off. We'll look at the replay here. Right, a nice pass across. It just didn't get enough on the shot. Ciampini didn't get enough weight behind it, but Panthers giving that one away a little bit down low. They're going to have to do a little bit better with that, with their puck management.
Alfaro versus Whistle. Whistle wins it cleanly to Saucerman. Banks it around for Diffley. He's being watched by Doherty. Diffley battling hard. Doherty comes right back at him, and these are the 50-50 board battles that are so important in a semifinal, but it's Watling now. Coming away, he's being checked by Alfaro. Watling sends it across to Whistle. His shot turned away by Grande, and it hits the referee. Usala lets it drift back to Diffley. Diffley into the bumper position, and Whistle couldn't get the shot away, but he's going to come back to the right point. Whistle tape to tape with Diffley. Diffley in front, it's redirected, and Grande had to get strong down on the right pad as Buns knocks Usala over, but Usala nearly directed that under the pads of Grande.
And the puck was lying there, obviously. Grande does a good job just keeping the puck in front of himself, but he's not able to actually get his glove or blocker on it. Eventually gets underneath his chest there somewhere, I think, and he's got it here. And Dowd was trying to get that rebound and stuff it in the back of the net, but Grande wasn't having it. He's been good for the Panthers. Probably had about 20 shots now. He's only given up 1 goal.
Well, anytime you ask your goalie to make 16 saves in the first period of a knockout game, you're asking a lot, but he answered the bell. Henbrandt took it up the left side. Sidestepped a hit by Dowd. Dowd actually knocked Tansey over. As Dowd just wants to lay the body on anyone. Here's Shudra. Scoops it into the corner. Tetlow will get there first. Slams it up the left side. Betteridge, or Henbrandt rather. Henbrandt sends it across for Betteridge. Betteridge goes to the front of the net. It's going to bounce for Stephenson, and now Tetlow. Tetlow is a lane. Tetlow with the shot. Blockered away by Greenfield. As he was trying to find that puck past Betteridge and Henbrandt. Icing call against the Steelers.
Well, it wasn't a tough save for Greenfield, but what he did well is he blocked it all the way out to the blue line. I mean, he just got rid of that puck, so it was nowhere near the front of the net when he made that save. Good job from him. But the Panthers finally getting a little bit of the time down the other end of the ice and get a shot to the net, which is positive for the Panthers. Puck comes out, Tetlow gets a good shot in there. Greenfield aggressive right up above the blue paint. Heels of his skate above the blue paint.
Shudra didn't realize Garat was jumping in from the point, and Zsombor Garat worked it along to Hugo Waugh, but Dowd is there. Zek. Well, the defense are activating much more than they did in the first period here for the Panthers, Paul, and both Garat and Zek showing the pressure down the walls to try and keep Sheffield pinned.
Well, they can pinch down as long as they know they got that third forward high, and their D partner's also up on the blue line. You can take that chance.
Here's Her trying to weave his way out front. The puck was alive in the blue paint. Zek on the left point goes to the Hungarian Garat. Back to Kontos. Kontos is intercepted, and now he's going to pull Cormier down. Kontos is going to get a hooking call as Cormier looked to get away to the races, and it's the first power play on either side of the puck.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to get to the puck either. I mean, I think the Panthers were going to get to this puck first. Grande was going to get to the puck first, and then there was a penalty there. The referee's not going to miss that one, but probably could have just let his man go because Grande was on it. He was ready to get the puck and make a play. Obviously, you can't take that chance.
I think that was more of an instinctual thing. I'm caught here. I'm not letting him go.
Exactly.
You're down 1-0. You'd rather go on the PK than give up the breakaway, perhaps.
I mean, what I did like is when Hurd took the puck to the net down low just before Murph. That's the first time I see someone for the Panthers just take the puck to the net, try to make something happen.
And the puck sat in the blue paint for a moment as well. Like, we haven't seen Greenfield spill many pucks.
And that's what the Panthers need to start doing, be more aggressive down low.
Cormier to Balmas. Alfaro kept him to the outside. Cormier to Whistle. Whistle with a shot off the logo on the chest of Grande. Balmas to Cormier. Now Whistle back to Balmas. Balmas drops it back to Cormier. Cormier, he was trying to get fancy there and get it back to Whistle. But Nishkala works it up the wall. Levins kept it to Usala. And now Cormier. Balmas. Balmas had 23 goals in league action. Cormier, a high rising shot. Nishkala goes high off the glass, and Balmas couldn't keep it in.
Now the Steelers moved the puck around really well. Got some pucks to the net, just didn't get enough traffic in front. Maybe tried to take that extra pass when they didn't need it. Maybe should get the puck to the net a little bit quicker. The opportunities were there.
Aggressive penalty kill there by Alfaro as well. Whistle had to come back and recollect the puck. Betteridge finds a lane. Nottingham so far in the playoffs, well, it's 2 legs in the quarterfinal, 25%, but in the league they were 80.1% on the penalty kill. Sheffield about 20% in both the league, or just 21% in the league and 20% in the playoffs thus far. Saucerman couldn't keep it in. Well, Hugo Waugh was trying to bat that out of the air. Ciampini out wide to Dowd. 30 seconds remaining on the power play. Saucerman, wow, looked like he almost toe picked there and couldn't keep the puck in. He'll come all the way back.
Yeah, one of those strange ones where it's just between your legs. You can't get your stick on it. But good job from the Panthers on their penalty. They've been aggressive, especially down the other end against the Steelers.
Ciampini to Watling. Back to Ciampini. Good save by Grande, who comes out again to the top of that crease. Dowd. 10 seconds remaining in the man advantage. Saucerman to the captain. Dowd lets fly. It came off a Garat's stick and skipped across into the corner. Here's Watling. Watling to the bottom of the circle, gets it in front, but Watling comes across and gets his own rebound, and it's stopped by Grande. 0 for 1 on the power play, Sheffield.
Yeah, good job overall from the Panthers, and Grande also, when the puck did get to the net, he did a good job just making the save, making it look easy. I mean, the Steelers did get some decent enough opportunities, but overall the Panthers were better on the penalty kill.
Fossey out wide, too far for Doherty. Fossey starts it out again. Here's Wickers. Tremblay, who has the lone goal. Well, he got a stick on that pass and sent it all the way in on Grande. I mean, Tremblay is buzzing here this evening. Tansey away from Stephenson. Tansey sticks out the right leg to protect the puck. Sifts it on to Shudra, but Shudra is offside with 13:09 remaining in the second period. 1-0 Sheffield.
Again, I still think the Panthers need to get that puck down the other end of the ice and create spend more time in that offensive zone and create more opportunities and just take that puck to the net sometimes like Hurd did and make something happen. I mean, they're not playing a bad game, the Panthers. They're just not creating enough offense.
Diffley. Guimont is going to end up on the Steelers bench.
Well, they're fairly aggressive, the Panthers. They're going 1-1-3, so the first two forwards are, first one will turn to play one way, the other one will come across, and the puck comes across and put pressure on. So they're aggressive right now, the Panthers. But I guess, we have to give credit to the Steelers in terms of their puck management has been very good, because they haven't made any poor plays where the Panthers have been able to come back quickly on the transition and give them trouble.
Wickers sends it out wide to Doherty. High rising snapshot up and over the glove hand of Greenfield. Diffley wrapped up by Doherty. Diffley going to kick it along. Wickers pinches in from the point, but Levens bounced that past him. Stephenson got his pocket picked by Valorin. And Valorin to Levens. Levens' hard angle shot whips it through the crease and out the other side. Cormier keeps it in at the point. Here's Marco Valorin. Valorin with a chance, a big rebound there for Levens, and now Tremblay making a nuisance of himself, but Fossier will skate it to safety and just chip it in, but dangerous moments there. But again, Grande shuts the door.
Yeah, great save. But Valorin shows just how good of a skater he is, because he just goes for a wonder in the offensive zone, gets to the net for a good scoring opportunity. And the Steelers came close on the rebound. Grande again making a big save for the Panthers.
There's Valorin again. Another stop by Grande. Herr was trying to get in behind Cormier, but that's going to come back with about 12 minutes to go in the second period.
You can see the Panthers trying to get it up quick to Herr, but Cormier had that covered. He was back. He knew what they were trying to do. I guess it's the support on the puck is what you need in that situation. And this is where Valorin goes for a little skate in that offensive zone. Lots of sticks there, but not enough to keep him getting a backhand shot to the net. Good job, everyone collapsing down for the Panthers, taking their man and getting it done defensively in that situation.
Kontos wins the face-off. Nishkala out wide to the aforementioned Kontos. Entry on the left wing. There's Herr. That came off the goalie stick of Greenfield. Zek for Logan Nielsen. Bounced away from Logan Nielsen, and Nishkala leaves it for Herr. Herr to Kontos to Zek. They snap it around. Zek comes backdoor, and Kontos had his stick lifted, but there's going to be a penalty. As Useless saying, I lifted the stick. Well, they're going to call him, as there was a grade A opportunity for the Panthers, and they'll get their first power play. We're going to head downstairs between the bench and bring Chris Ellis in.
Interesting between the benches here. Carter Beston Wills for the Sheffield Steelers been really, really vocal with the Steelers forwards in the past few minutes. Probably before that penalty kill for the Panthers, probably their best period of the game. Steelers dominated that first session, out shooting the Panthers, but just looking at Carter Beston Wills again now, he's really giving instructions to Hoochler at the moment, and obviously now, of course, big kill for the forwards and the defensemen on this penalty kill for the Steelers, and the first power play of the night for the Panthers.
The Panthers 66.7% on the power play against the Guildford Flames in the quarterfinal. Sheffield were 100% on the kill against Glasgow in their quarterfinal. Doherty to Zek. Fossier. Great opportunity to level this semifinal 2 up. Fossier looked off like he was going to pass and got the shot through, but it bounced off a Betteridge, and now Ciampini coming ahead shorthanded. Whistle. Trying to kill off some vital seconds on the disadvantage. Keeps the puck in deep. Doherty leaves it for Cooper Zek. Zek with 4 assists in the quarterfinals against the Flames. Bounced off of Doherty. Doherty's in. Doherty tried to get it out front, and the blocker from Greenfield shot out and made sure he couldn't complete that pass. So even when Greenfield's not stopping pucks, he's cutting off passes to the crease. Here's Fossier. Zek. Well, Zek had a one-timer. We've seen a couple of broken sticks in this one. Valorin lugs the puck ahead, and he's in alone because Zek had no stick. But a little hip check there knocked Valorin over. And it looks like Fossier is slow to get up after that exchange. Tremblay and Betteridge in the corner now. 45 seconds remaining in the Usala minor. An intercept by Tremblay, shorthanded is Doherty with a dangerous pass. Usala's hooking penalty winding down, about 35 seconds to go, and Sheffield exactly where they want to be, 200 feet away from Greenfield's crease.
Yeah, good job down low from the Steelers putting pressure on the Panthers. Struggle to get out of the zone, but here they come now, Murph.
Davis Buns nearly his pocket pick there as well, but he gets it away to Waugh. Kick back to the point, and Buns. Here's Kontos. Kontos with a bumper play, and Herr and Waugh, both stopped by Greenfield. Contos, nice play into the bumper, but they can't beat Greenfield. Here's Alfaro. Just a few seconds remaining in the power play. Alfaro around the goal, and it is indeed Usala out of the box. 0 for 1 on the power play, Nottingham. Contos. Alfaro's shot doesn't get through as Saucerman blocks that, and Whistle will turn it up ice. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play this evening. Brandon Whistle against Alfaro. Good battle along the wall. Buns comes in to help out. Played back to Wickers, and just like that, just 9:05 remaining in the second period. Sheffield 1, Nottingham no score.
Yeah, Panthers, I mean, although they didn't score in the power play, it's given them some momentum, a bit of a confidence. Got some scoring options, some shots to the net. Cormier made a great defensive play on that 4-on-5. He slid down on the ice, which bought his teammates time to get back into position. Didn't let the pass come across. Even the guy at the penalty box had enough time to get to that slot area. So a really good defensive play from Cormier, just getting down on the ice and keeping the pass from getting into the front of the net.
Levens. Wow, that little dangle at the line always throws someone offside, so the faceoff will come out. Aaron Fox not happy about it at all, but you're up 1-0. I don't think you really want to be arguing offsides.
And the referee's over there telling him, listen, settle down.
Calm down, yeah. It's offside. It's not the end of the
one.
world.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some of these plays are close, and we always talk about how we have plenty of time to judge it with the slow motion, but the linesmen don't when they make that call. They call it in real time. Right now, there's a discussion going on with the referees and the timekeeper.
Sheffield on a goal from Tremblay. His first from Levens. 1:17 remaining in the first period. One of 17 shots faced by Grande, with 16 saves in the first period.
Well, Steph, the timekeeper, he usually knows what's going on. Certainly has some funny stories over the years of what he's heard from the officials.
He's a great guy. I was giving him a hard time earlier. He's wearing a red tie. I said, are you picking Cardiff in this first semifinal? And I guess maybe the red tie helped the Cardiff Devils.
Maybe he brought them some luck.
Face-off just outside the Panthers' blue line. And they're happy with the clock. There's 8:34 remaining. Watling versus Kelsall, 2:14s. Kelsall wins it cleanly. He bounced away from Spencer. He'll retrieve it in the corner. Plenty of time and ice ahead of him. Kelsall for Stephenson. Kelsall had that come off his skate. And now Cormier. Cormier dumps it into the left of Grande, and it will be, it looks like it's offside again.
I thought he made an icing call. I think you're right, it is an offside, Murph. First I thought he was calling icing, but no, good spot from you.
You look at it, I mean, maybe it's a sign that the Panthers are saying, you threw the kitchen sink at us. You had almost 20 shots in the first period. You're only up by 1, so it feels like a bounce here for the Panthers, and all of a sudden the pressure switches back to Sheffield, because you've pumped so many shots on Grande, and you're only got that 1 goal splitting you up.
We've seen it happen a lot over the years where a team, you know, dominates the shot count, but at the end of the day, it's how many goals you score. And the next goal is going to be a big one in this game.
Kelsall to Stephenson. Huttala is just so good patrolling that left side defensively. It's hard to get past him. Here's Cormier. Cormier. Dowd. Dowd finds the trailer. Valorant. Oh, what a stop by Grande. He's had a couple of big saves on Valorant in this one. Very similar to the save he had in the first period against number 88 in orange. Here's Alfaro. Henbrandt behind the goal, intercepted by Cormier. Huttala run into by Henbrandt. Usala takes a hit to make a play, but Tetlow, again, they've been much more aggressive from the points. 10, 15 feet down the boards to try and hem the Sheffield Steelers in. Usala will get the puck out of harm's way, and he finds Dowd. Dowd with a little bit of room around Buns. Dowd carries in. Buns sweeps it away from him. 6:55 remaining in the middle frame. Sheffield 1, Nottingham no score. Buns wrapped up by Saucerman. Contos. Back to Hugo Waugh. Waugh just dumps it into the left of Greenfield, and Saucerman Levins. Here's the goal scorer, Tremblay. Contos sends it up and down. Icing call against Nottingham.
Well, we knew this was going to be a close game, and it's playing out that way. I mean, the Panthers are hanging in here, just playing their game, waiting for that opportunity. Doesn't take much. One goal and things can change very quickly. It's just that one shot, that one good scoring opportunity. It's what the Panthers are looking for right now, and the Steelers are looking for that second goal. I think they feel if they can get a second one, get a 2-goal lead with the way Greenfield has been playing, especially the way he played against Glasgow in the quarterfinals.
Don't remind me. He just never lets that big goal.
There, Murph.
He never. Yeah, it's because I mentioned Drew Fata last night, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm getting back at you.
Here's Tansey. Tansey with a shot. It was redirected off a ball miss, but Grande again square to the shot.
Yeah, Balmus, good job. Gets from the face-off dot to the front of the net. Gets good positioning. Good job from this. Just waiting for someone to get to the net. Balmus goes to the net, gets a tip.
That's a great tip.
I think it goes off the stick or leg, one or the other, but he's in good position there. Zek keeps him away from getting a rebound, but Balmus did a good job getting to the front of the net.
Face-off win back to Tansey. It's off the cheater, off the cuff of the glove of Grande. Move the puck along. Wrapped up there by Whistle. Wah. To Nishkala. Chipping and chasing around Tansey. Guimont wraps him up. Tansey to Whistle. Out to the wing. Balmus has to hustle and gets it past Zek. Kelsel and Balmus. Balmus scores! Balmus! A lovely little wrist shot past the glove of Grande. It's 2-0 Sheffield.
Well, he just outmuscles Kelsel on the play, and he makes it look like he's going to pass. There's no option to pass him. He's got to shoot it, but that's a great shot from Balmus up and over the glove of Grande. And he gets the Steelers that big second goal, giving them that 2-0 lead. I was talking about the next goal, how important it was going to be, and that's a big one from Balmus for the Steelers. It's a great finish. He wins that one-on-one battle, then picks the top corner. And that is a big goal for the Sheffield Steelers. Great shot there. Grande might have got a little piece of it, but not enough to keep it out of the back of the net. Again, a bit of a late goal in the third, late 5:46 left here in the second period. They scored late in the first period. Right now, Danny Stewart's over having a chat. Maybe they want to check something to see if there was an offside on the play. That could be what they're looking at, the Panthers. I don't know how much time the referee will allow them to make that decision. But right now, I think that's what they're looking at to see if the play was offside.
Well, right now it's being scored as Balmus, his second from Tansey with 5:46 left in the period. Let's have a look here. And I think you're right, Grande just gets a piece of it, but not enough.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if there was offside in that play. I think if the Panthers were sure, they would have had it checked.
Garat, it is 2-0 goals from Balmus and Tremblay. And if you look at Greenfield, his goals against average against the Glasgow Clan was 1.97. So you're right on the edge of, you're down by 2.
Well, you can see the Panthers straight away off that face-off. 2 players forechecking hard, deep pinching down the wall. They know they got to go now. They can't sit back. They're down 2 goals. Down a goal, you can still play a defensive game, but because you know one shot, but with down 2, you got to pick it up offensively.
Doherty trying to catch the Steelers on a line change. Good save by Greenfield on the low wrist shot from Doherty. Jean-Borg Garat to Stephenson. Stephenson gets the shot through. It's blocker wide on Greenfield. Wickers. Little head fake comes across to Garat. Garat with the shot and no traffic in front. That's routine for Greenfield. And now, well, Valoran's not happy at all. Saucerman comes in to rip the helmet off of Jean-Borg Garat. Last thing you want on either side of the puck right now is a silly penalty. You knew it'd boil over at some point though, Paul.
Yeah, Valoran wasn't happy about the first shot that came in, so he reacted. But you don't want to take a retaliation penalty when you're up 2-0. I don't know if the refs are going to call anything. If they do, it should be a penalty each. I don't think one team or the other should get an extra. Well, let's have a look here. Well, we'll probably miss it there a bit. That puck then goes into the corner. There's some action in front. That's a good battle in front. When you lose your helmet, you got to get off the ice. And right there, Greenfield makes a save, but action's going on the other side, and Valorant is going at it a little bit, not very happy. But there wasn't that much in it. Rat wasn't that happy either, to be honest.
And such is the way the game in the league has changed. That used to be like pretty well 6-7 times a period. You'd have little scrums like that. Now, if one thing happens in the game, you're thinking it's like it's aggressive, but there's not been a lot of fights in my games this year. We saw Paré versus Tansey, but other than that, it's few and far between.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the fact that the referees didn't call a penalty there. Yeah, both players had a shot at one another. It's a big semifinal game.
Well, the officials have been great here. I mean, it's 0 for 1 on the power play each. They've only called what really needed to be called. Ciampini against Buns. Huhtala activates from that left point. He's hit there, but he's slow to get up. Huhtala. He was hit hard by Alfaro, and this could be a problem as Huhtala's really struggling getting to the bench for Sheffield.
Yeah, I think he got nipped on the side of the leg. Charlie horse type injury. Probably be all right after a while, but he did get pinched on the wall there, and a lot of times you get nailed on those nerves on the side of your leg and you really feel it. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Well, Alfaro plays hard. Big guy at 6'2", just kind of seemed to try and get past the hit, and sometimes when you avoid the hit, it's even worse because you get clipped.
I mean, Greenfield's gone to the bench twice now to change his stick. I don't know how many times they're going to let him change his stick. I think he claimed it was maybe he's had 2 broken sticks in a row. That's possible, but rare. But Huhtala, let's see, he's feeling that one. Didn't look too serious.
Face-off win back to Tansey. We'll keep an eye on 5 in orange, Una Huhtala. 165 games played in the Finnish Liga for Una Huhtala, and he is just so good on that left point. Let's head downstairs now. Chris Ellis has an update on Una Huhtala between the benches.
Yeah, he's getting close attention from the Steelers doctor. He's just crouching down now as you see the replay. And he just stands up back again. He's clearly not right. At the moment, I'm struggling to see, would he go out for the next shift? I mean, these hockey players are made of strong stuff. He's just looked actually at Aaron Fox and shook his head. So maybe we won't see him again this period, and he may be heading towards the tunnel. Still standing around the edge there, but no, not in it. He's in a bit of pain.
Kontos tried to direct that towards goal. Balmas works it out. Kerr chips it back to Wickers. You can see that Huhtala is still standing on the bench down there. Kerr giving chasers a penalty coming up on the Sheffield Steelers. Looks like a boarding call with 3:46 to go.
Boarding.
And it is indeed a call on whistle for boarding. Second power play coming up for Nottingham.
Yeah, he caught Wickers a bit from behind. And
in front of the Steelers bench, it was
right
penalty
there,
bench.
Made the call. We talk about this a lot. You see the numbers, lay off the hit. Smart play there would have just been not to finish off your check. Player turns a little bit in front of you. Just watch here, his back is there. You don't finish off that hit. It's not a good check to finish off, especially with a 2-0 lead late in the second period. I know it's hard to turn away sometimes. It looks easier to turn away when we're looking at that in slow motion, but those are the little plays that you got to resist.
It's hard in a playoff game, though, because you're asking your players to play on the knife edge, and then all of a sudden you're committed and the guy turns like that, but you have to. The onus is on the hitter now, not the hittee, to protect himself, and you're right, that's one you've got to try and avoid, but it's a big opportunity down by a pair for the Panthers to get on the board on the power play. Zek to Fossier. Back to Cooper. Zek. Doherty. To Fossier. Fossier in front, and Wickers with the redirect, but he's wrapped up by Tansey, and now it's going to boil over again as Tansey is strong in the crease there, and now Wickers knocks Tansey over. Wickers, the big defenseman, was in front trying to play net front. Tansey knocked him over. You can see Tansey having a word with the officials. Look, you're up 2-0 if you're Kevin Tansey as well. Say nothing to the referees. Let's have a look back.
Yeah, I mean, good puck movement from the Panthers, playing it wide, try to come back across. Good play there, and they try to slide it in for that redirect in front. Good job from Tansey covering that, but he does give the extra shot in there, and Wickers, you can see why Wickers is a little bit annoyed. And that's why he gives him a little bit of a push off there and dumps him. Tansey's not happy about that, has a few words. Good battles in the trenches, as long as you keep it clean, Murph.
Well, Tremblay wants to take the face off, which means Balmas is going to have to go back to the bench. It is 4-on-5 if you're Sheffield. They had 5 skaters. I mean, Aaron Fox is having a great conversation over there with Joe Sewell, one of the referees. But I don't know about you, put your coach hat on, say nothing to the refs when you're up 2-0. Don't put yourself on the map.
No, you want to try to stay out of their...
Keep your head down.
Yeah, you want to stay out of their thoughts. And I mean, Aaron Fox is passionate, he's intense, and he wanted to get a certain player on the ice, but the referee said no, he wasn't happy about it.
Tansey couldn't get it out. Zek with a good keep at the right point. Still a minute 35 remaining on the power play. Doherty with the shot up and over the shoulder. The right shoulder blocker side on Greenfield. Zek, another good keep, whips it across to Fossier. Fossier with 3 goals in the playoffs. Betteridge rips it into the left wing looking for Doherty. Instead, though, it's Tremblay back the other way. Tremblay, he's got a goal in this one. Well, Tremblay flicked the stick out of the hands of Betteridge. That could be a delay of game as well, but play goes on. Tansey backs up. Tansey finds a seam and dumps it down. Fossier with a minute remaining in the boarding call on whistle. 2:42 to go in the second period. Sheffield 2, Panthers no score. Zek to Fossier. Fossier to Doherty. Zek now. Doherty looking for an angle. Goes back to Fossier. Zek rips it on goal, scores! Cooper Zek with a hard shot. There was net front presence. It's a power play goal. 2-1 hockey game.
Well, Zek here, he looks away and then he fires that quick wrist shot in there. You can see the redirect from Roy right into the back of the net. A big goal for the Panthers. They certainly needed that. They've been moving the puck around well on their power play. They take advantage of the power play and get a big goal here with 2:20 left on the clock in the second period. That's a big goal for the Panthers. They needed that. Will give them some momentum. I like the puck movement from the Panthers. Traffic in front of the net. Well, goes to the front. Gets a good tip in. Zek smart up top. He looks like he's going to pass that, and then he shifts it the other way. I think that fools Greenfield and everybody on the Steelers in front of the net. They all flinch, thinking it's going to be passed first, but no. Zek gets it to the net. Whoop, deflects it in the back. And then here come the Panthers again, Murph.
Wow. Back to the point. Garrett with his shot, just patted away by Greenfield. They go hunting for the equalizer. Couldn't get it back as Balmas intercepts that. Balmas and Levens 2-on-1, and excellent work by Garrett to get back on Levens and make sure he didn't get a shot. Diffley trying to get it out front to Balmas. Excellent stick by Hugo. Wow, here comes Her down the left side, rolls it in. Looking for Contos. Contos against Diffley. Diffley quickly on to Levens. 1:35 remaining in the second period. 2-1 hockey game at Motor Point. Here's a chance for Levens. Stutter steps and a high rising shot that's going to be easily held by Grande.
Again, Steelers going hard to the net, trying to pick up a rebound there. Grande hangs on to it, not going to take any chance. We've got 1:27 left in the second period. The atmosphere has changed here pretty quickly. The Panthers fans have come alive after that goal from the Panthers. They're in the game now. That's what they needed. They needed the Panthers to produce something, and they did. It all started from just getting some traffic in front of the net on the power play. Waugh gets great positioning, tips it in. Zek makes a nice little move up top on the blue line. He gets it to the net. Big goal for the Panthers. And they're back in this game, Murph.
Yeah, big power play goal. We thought it might have been Hugo Waugh in front. Right now it's being officially scored as Zek from Fossier. Here's a chance. Oh, Doherty! Right there for the tying goal, but can't find the twine. Whistle. Down the right side, 3-on-2, 4-on-2 Sheffield. Whistle. Whistle, well, they had a 4-on-2, and in the end, it kind of fizzled as the shot from Whistle was into the corner. Doherty. 1 minute remaining in the second period. Doherty in, he's 1-on-3 in a high-rising shot into the logo on the chest of Greenfield, and now Doherty mixing it up with Sacha Guimont.
Now Doherty certainly gets involved in the play when he's out there on the ice. He has been looking sharp. He is getting shots on net. Starting to get a few more opportunities here in the second than he did in the first. He's come alive here in the second period, as has the whole Panthers team since that goal. It's giving them some confidence. Right now you can see there's 6 players on the ice for Panthers. They've got to get somebody off. Tetlow's going to head off, but they've been talking about a face-off here. 49 seconds left in the first, Murph, so this is a big face-off.
Big win by Tremblay. Cormier. Ciampini. Ciampini leans into that. Paddled away by Grande. Ciampini to Tremblay. Back to Ciampini, and Tremblay gets a quick one-timer away, and Grande will hold on with about 29 seconds remaining on the clock.
Well, Ciampini and Tremblay continue to get their chances. They play well, they move the puck well together, then you put Balmas out there with them and they become very, very dangerous, but they seem to be creating good opportunities when they're out there on the ice. Grande comes up big. That's another good save for the Panthers.
Tremblay versus Contos. Tremblay wins it to Cormier. Cormier gets the wrist shot through Ciampini, got a piece of it, but Zek will settle it down and wheel away. Here's Contos. Contos, high rising half slap shot, looking for a rebound, I think, for Waugh, but Greenfield knows exactly that and holds on.
You know, it's getting chippy out there. Almost every whistle there's a little cross check, a little punch. Both these two teams not giving an inch.
Shots on goal are 30-16, Paul, so you'd be outshot 2-1, but the Panthers on the back of that goal have found a little bit of a spring in the step.
Yeah, pretty even, I think, the shots this period. Much better for the Panthers than the shot total. But you're right, they found a spring in their step from that goal, and a goal always gives you some momentum, and that's what the Panthers have now, momentum.
Contos wins it to Zek. 15 seconds remaining. Zek away from Cormier. Huitala. Well, it's good to see Huitala out there after that injury on the hit by Alfaro, but Huitala is back in action for Sheffield. Here's her throws it back up front. Waugh with a chance at the buzzer. And Hugo Waugh is denied by Greenfield right at the death of period 2.
Yeah, that's a big save. Just lands on Waugh's stick. Gets to the net quickly. He doesn't get all of it, though. It rolls off his stick a little bit. So if he pushes that puck to the near post, it's in the back of the net. Greenfield has time to make the save, but it just rolled on him as he shot it, so he didn't get everything on it. And Greenfield covers it. Big save from Greenfield. Finishes 2-1. Steelers leading this one after 2. But that's a big goal for the Panthers. They certainly played much better after that. Went end-to-end. It was pretty exciting. And that's what we probably will see in the third period, Murph.
Let's head downstairs on the Steelers bench. The assistant coach Carter Beston-Will joins Chris Ellis.
Carter, give me your thoughts on 2 periods so far.
Yeah, I mean, intense playoff-like hockey game. Both teams laying everything on the line. I think we had a really good first period and controlled that first period, and I think Nottingham pushed back this period in the second there, and pretty back and forth. We had our chances. They had theirs as well. Yeah, just an intense game with a pretty good atmosphere.
What's key for you, do you think, in the third period then?
I think we got to settle back down. They had that pushback with a couple late power plays, obviously, got them a little bit of momentum. I think the period break came at a pretty good time, actually, to regroup ourselves and catch our breath and get ready to go again.
Appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks to Carter Beston-Will for joining Chris Ellis on the Steelers bench. 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. 30-17 the shots on goal in favor of Sheffield. 22-21 the face-off dot for Sheffield as well. 0 for 1 on the power play for the Steelers. 1 for 2 on the power play for the Panthers. Cooper Zek still being credited with that goal. Maybe Hugo Waugh they'll look at that, but it doesn't matter. They won't care about personal accolades. Zek from Fosse with 2:20 remaining in the period as we look back at the highlights, Paul 80.
Well, I mean, the Panthers, it was a big power play goal that they had eventually, but right here, mean, Greenfield does a good job just pushing that puck away from the front of the net. Makes a good save on this play with some traffic in front. Shot comes in, just blockers it right out away from the front of the net, and the puck gets out of the zone. I like her going to the net, taking the puck to the net. That's what you have to do if you're the Panthers or even the Steelers. If you want to score, you got to be able to challenge that goalie down low sometimes. Her in there also trying to get a few shots in there on Greenfield, trying to take him off his game. Valeron makes a great little play here, busting through the middle of the ice in the offensive zone, gets a backhand to the net. And Grande makes a good first save, and then everybody for the Panthers collapse down and help out there to clear that puck. Going the other way, this is just Balmus just out muscling the Panthers player, and he finishes that off nicely. Grande doesn't have much of a chance. That's a great shot, but just good skill, good strength on the puck from Balmus, and he finished it off nicely. Made the right decision not to pass there. Defenseman went down to take the pass away. He shoots it and gets a big goal. That gave the Steelers a 2-0 lead at this point. Really nice individual play from Balmus.
Balmus with his second of the playoffs. Tansey with the assist. Kelsall just couldn't keep him to the outside. I mean, Balmus he's class. The last few years he's been a top point getter for the Steelers, so you do not want him all alone. Just kind of out muscles Kelsall right there. Yeah,
he gets inside on Kelsall, and that's the key. You want to try to stay inside if you're the defensive player. Maybe not play so aggressively wide on that. Just try to cut Balmus off in that situation. Kelsall does get caught a little bit, tries to get back, just can't get back in time, and Balmus gets the puck to the net quickly, and it was a nice finish to give the Steelers that 2-0 lead.
They were pressing, weren't they? This is the play where Hudula got hit by Alfaro. Now, he did come back, but he missed a couple of shifts, and good to have him back as we look now onto the power play. And Zach credited with his first of the postseason. Fossier with his fourth assist with about 2:20 to go in period 2.
Yeah, well, Zach makes it look like he's going to pass it, then he shoots it. It did look like Waugh got a tip on that one, but it's hard to tell. But I just like the way Zach looks to his left, and then he just shoots it, and he catches everybody by surprise. Great job from Waugh in front of the net, screening the goalie, taking Greenfield's eyes away. Not much of a chance to make a save if you get square in front of the goalie like that. It makes it really tough on him. But it's good movement from Zach on the blue line, and that's why they get the goal in the end. And you can see the Panthers are pumped. They needed that. They needed a goal to get themselves. And the Panthers have had a lot of great third periods in this rink in recent weeks, and that's something that they're gonna know coming into this third period, and they're gonna feel confident that they can bring this one back in the third period. There's the deflect for sure. Wow. Deflected that into the net. I mean, it's his goal. Great play from Zek, but it was Waugh who scored it. Definitely goes off his stick.
1 for 2 on the power play. Put your coaching hat on, Paul. What's the message from Danny Stewart? What's the message from Aaron Fox?
I think Danny Stewart's going to say we have the momentum, but we got to keep that intensity. We have to be more aggressive. We got to go to the net harder. We've got to get that, F2-4 driving to the net, stop at the net, look for real, fight for everything, win those battles down low, and I mean, you're not going to score goals unless you're willing to take that puck to the net and try to just drive to the net, like O'Brien did in the first game, where he just went around and drove in front of the net. You got to do that sometimes in these big games to score goals. So, I mean, if they want to score more, they're going to have to, play with more intensity in the third period. I mean, if you're Sheffield, you have that lead, and the Steelers are comfortable playing with a lead. We've seen that in the past. They seem to get up on teams in these big semifinal games, and even if they take a goal, they seem to react well and come back and get some scoring opportunity. We saw that after they gave up the first goal to the Panthers. They reacted well, I thought. They went down and created some chances. So, I mean, the Steelers are going to be happy they're in the lead going into the third period, but also I think the Steelers are going to be a little bit concerned that they know the Panthers have the ability to really go on a run and score a lot of goals quickly.
All to play for in semifinal 2. It's Sheffield 2, Nottingham 1. We'll be back with live third period action on Elite League TV after this quick intermission break. Welcome back to Motor Point Arena through 40 minutes of action. It's a scoreline of 2-1 Sheffield over Nottingham. 30-17, the shots on goal in favor of Sheffield, but Nottingham out shooting the Steelers 14-13 in period 2, and Hugo Waugh with a power play goal from Fossier and Zek, Balmas and Tremblay for Sheffield, all to play for. 2-1 scoreline here in semifinal number 2. The winner punches their ticket through to the grand final against the Cardiff Devils.
Yeah, it's going to be a great third period. Like you said, Murph, it could be an overtime kind of game, this one. It's been a close game. I mean, the second period, Panthers edged it, I thought, a little bit better than the Steelers. First period, definitely the Steelers were the better team. Now we go into the third. I think the Panthers have the momentum, though, going into this third period. That goal did them a lot of good. They looked a lot more confident after they got that first goal for them in this game. And be interesting to see. They played very well in the third period in recent weeks here in Nottingham, scoring quite a few goals. So they're going to feel confident they can bring this one back and go on to win the game. Not an easy thing against a good defensive team that can play well defensively like the Steelers with good goaltending in Greenfield.
Both these goalies are lights out. It was never going to be a 5 or 6-0 game like we saw a little bit earlier on, as Ben Bounds with a big shutout win to get the Devils through to the playoff final on Sunday. Aaron Murphy alongside Paul 80. Chris Ellis is ringside. We'll be live on Premier Sports TV from 4:30 p.m. tomorrow for the 5 p.m. face-off, Cardiff versus the winner of this game. And it's, as you said off the top, these are close games between these two teams. This is your biggest rival. If you can't show up for this game, you're in trouble as a player. And certainly after a slow first period for Nottingham with just the 3 shots, they had 14 shots in the second, growing into this game and really giving Sheffield something to think about.
Yeah, they are growing into this game, and they started to feel a lot better late in that second period. You could see the confidence was growing, and it's going to be a real battle here in the third period, Murph.
Puck is down on the third period. You said it kind of feels like overtime. Will it be a greasy goal, or will someone take this by the scruff of the neck to get through to that grand final? Usala throws it through the crease and out the other side. Sasha Guimont rims it around back to Usala, who led the Steelers in league play with 27 tallies. Here's Dowd, the captain, places it back to the point. Back to Dowd, just bounces away from him, but he's calm and gets it to Whistle. Dowd now all of a sudden finds a lane back to Guimont. Guimont with a shot, and it's turned aside by Grande. Good rebound control as he makes sure that rebound goes to the half wall and not back out into the slot.
Yeah, you always want to get the puck away from your net. You want to get it into the corners. Steelers go off for a good first shift from the Steelers. Get some pucks to the net. Kept the Panthers down in their end of the ice. Both teams have changed.
Nishkala up the middle, bounces away from Waugh. Here's Watling, the overtime hero against the Glasgow Clan in the quarterfinals. Gets it to Ciampini. Ciampini sends it cross ice, but Nishkala quick ahead of Balmas. Zek, Kontos, his final weekend of professional hockey. The captain announcing he's heading back to North America for family reasons. With the shot, it bounces off of Hudala, and Watling takes over. Certainly Sam Herr would like nothing more than to lead this Panthers team to a first playoff title since 2016. Balmas, he's got the go-ahead goal right now. 5:46 left in the second. Balmas with the second goal on the board for Sheffield. Hudala off the skate of Wickers. Wickers stays with it, but there was Hudala bouncing it out front to Ciampini, but Buns will skate it through the neutral zone. Buns trying to go end-to-end, a la Bobby Orr. Buns goes end-to-end around the net looking for an outlet pass, and he's going to come all the way back to the blue line, redirected in front. Lovely set of hands in front. It looks like Stephenson on the shot from Buns. It's a 2-2 hockey game.
Well, like you said, Buns just go for a skate, but you can see plenty of traffic in front from the Panthers. All 3 forwards crashing down in front of the net. Stephenson gets the last touch on that one. A really big goal for the Panthers early here in the third period. Right now, the Steelers are asking something to be checked. What are they looking for? Interference in front of the net. They're looking to see if they're going to check this one out. The Steelers have requested a look at it. Let's have a good look here, Murph. I don't know if there's any high stick there. There is no, well, Greenfield is saying, I don't know if he's saying it was a high stick,
there,
or if he's saying someone hit his stick.
It's Stephenson who's returned. He had a race to fitness to get back in the lineup, and Reed Stephenson, who had 10 goals in league play.
Well,
Good net front presence, though, because that's the only way you're going to beat Greenfield.
Well, you've got to get net front presence when you have shots coming in from the point. And you got to make it tough on these goalies. And let's have a good look here. It's hard to tell if that is over the bar, if it sticks over the bar or not. I mean, this is going to be hard to turn back. Greenfield's pretty sure it's up high. Let's have a look here. Right here. That is high, but is it when he makes contact?
It's hard to tell from there because it's got to be below the crossbar, but right there it looks above the crossbar, but that's because he's 3 feet out in front of Greenfield. We almost need to see it from the side.
It's a hard one to tell.
I will say this though, you've got to get that traffic in front. You got Henbrandt, Betteridge, and Stephenson. Pick your poison. That's the only way you're going to beat Greenfield. 3 white and gold with black trim jerseys crowding around that blue paint.
Yeah, and we've talked about traffic in front. Henbrandt is in there, Betteridge is in there.
The call on the ice was a good goal, so it's got to be definitive. And right now, I mean, let's see right here.
Right there. I still don't know if you can call that over the crossbar.
Yeah, but it's hard to tell from that. You need to see it from the side. There's no comparable. There's no scale there because, of course, it's going to look high. He's 4 feet out on that angle.
I mean, it was called a goal on the ice. And to say that they can look at that and say that it was not a goal. I mean,
this might be better here. It might be comparable. Important to say they might look that from there. It's not a high stick, in my opinion. From there, it looks like that looks below the. He's also downward motion, so I think when he touches that, it's below the crossbar. But again, you need to almost see it from the side, almost. But again, if this is. I don't know if they have a different angle down there in the situation room or the referee's spot down underneath us.
Well, this will be a good view here. Let's have a look.
But it's got to be definitive, Paul, because the call on the ice was a good goal. That to me is a good goal.
Yeah, me too. I think that's a good goal looking at it from that angle.
That's the best angle we've seen, Coach, and I think, well,
that looks okay to me.
Tense moments on both sides as Reed Stephenson returning to the lineup. Looks like he might have tied it up. The longer this goes on, you wonder, well, it's a good goal. Andy Dalton points to the center ice dot, and that erupts all the Panthers fans down to our left. Thousands of them enjoying that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as we looked at the replay from a couple of different angles, his stick looked like it was below the crossbar, unless Sheffield have a different view of it than everybody else. Aaron Fox seems to think when he looks at it, it's not a good goal. Could be looking at something from a different angle. I don't know.
No, he's seeing that angle on the iPad, I bet, from behind the goal, where it certainly looks above, but it's the scale and the context. He's out above on that.
Yeah, I mean, from the shot from the blue line, it looks like it's a good goal. From behind, it's really hard to tell.
Well, 2 minutes into the third period, Reed Stephenson's first from Buns, his first assist. They scored with 2:20 left in the second, and they scored with 2 minutes into the third. So after being down by a score of 2-0, right back in it, and 2-2 all to play for with 17:45 remaining in the third period. Here's Alfaro. Out wide to Buns. Carries past Diffley, throws on the brakes. He's got Alfaro at the point, but dangerous moment as Levens was there. Alfaro with a good keep, gets it in deep past Fossier. Doherty leaves it for Fossier. Tremblay had to be careful not to wrap him up and get a holding penalty. Alfaro to Doherty. And listen to the decibel level. The Panthers fans are raising the roof at Motor Point Arena.
Yeah, they're excited now. Their team has tied it up. It's a big goal for the Panthers, and like I said, they've had the momentum coming up.
Fossier to Doherty, and Doherty stopped. He was trying to go 5-hole on Greenfield. Spencer to Garat. Garat into the high slot. It bounces away from Contos. Jean-Bor Garat, and now they're just trying to pepper Greenfield, but he'll hold on for the face-off.
Yeah, the Panthers are buzzing right now. They've tied the game up. Their confidence level is sky high. Greenfield makes a good save there. Shot coming in from the point with some traffic. Panthers are trying to pour it on. They're trying to get that next goal. They know they have the momentum. They know the Steelers aren't feeling so comfortable as they were with that 2-goal lead.
Contos versus Whistle to the right of Greenfield. Centerman getting frustrated there. I think, again, because it's so loud in here, the linesmen are having a hard time getting the guys set up on these face-offs. Contos and Whistle will do it all again. And Whistle wins it. Tanzi, Guimont, Usala trying to chip it away from Contos. Usala settles it down. Top of the circle, backhand, and Grande says thank you very much.
Yeah, solid save from Grande. Usala goes wide with speed, gets that backhand, and then those backhands sometimes can give goalies trouble.
It's hard to get a read off the backhand, isn't it?
It is at times. Grande watches it all the way into his body. Make sure there's no rebound. Big face-off here again. Whistle's been winning these draws.
And wins another one as Usala pinwheels away from Garat. Spencer got there first ahead of Whistle. Spencer turns away. Contos up the wing. Now Hugo Waugh. Waugh finds the trailer. Spencer had his stick lifted by Usala, and there's a penalty coming up. Usala's going to get a hooking call. That's a second penalty on Usala where he thought he was lifting the stick. And you can see he's showing that motion. I've lifted the stick. I've got to be able to lift the stick. I think he may have a point there, but because he lingered.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough call. I mean, it's what's the difference between a hook and a stick lift. I mean, I guess what they're saying today is you have to play the puck. You can't lift a player's stick. Aaron Fox is not happy. He's not happy about that call. He feels a few of the calls have gone against him.
Well, they need a big penalty kill. They were perfect in the quarterfinals. They were 74.8% in the league.
I think that's the kind of play that needs to be clarified for players. You know, can you lift a player's stick up to make a play like that, or do you have to play the puck? I mean, players just don't know what they do in that situation.
Here's Fossier, back to Zek. Fossier through the blue paint wickers. The big defenseman plays as net front. 6'4", he's a big body. He's knocked down in the slot. Fossier, well, he had room above the blocker at Greenfield, but missed. Zek keeps it in. Zek throws it to the goal mouth. Diffley pushes it to safety. Now Whistle to Ciampini. Short-handed. Whistle drags and shoots, and it's turned aside by Grande. A minute 30 remaining in the second hooking call on Usala this evening. Doherty down the right side. Doherty away from Diffley. Sticks out the left arm to protect the puck. Flips it back to Fossier. 1:10 remaining in the Usala minor. Here's Zek. Zek with a little head fake. Goes to Doherty. Doherty trying to come back to Fossier. Now to the top of the circle. 1 minute remaining in this power play. Third power play of the game for the Panthers. There's Zek. Zek. Well, it bounced off a couple of sticks, including Tremblay's, and it's sent up and down. Grande will settle it.
That's some good puck movement from the Panthers. Just couldn't get those shots through to the net. Good shot blocks, good shooting lanes from the Steelers. Great job from them in terms of blocking shots.
Here comes Valorant. Valorant, short-handed. Valorant to Whistle. His stick was checked by her. Contos comes back. 25 seconds remaining in the power play. Contos looked up and saw the clock, and now he starts to hustle. Contos trying to go end-to-end away from Cormier. Tries to drop it back, and her is muscled off by Cormier. Cormier does a good job, and there's just 10 seconds remaining now.
Yeah, really good penalty kill so far from the Steelers. It'll be a big penalty kill if they can kill it off in the end.
Bonds takes a thundering hip check from Hudala. Big hip check from Hudala, and that kills it off as Usala comes out of the box. No icing on the play.
Yeah, that was a big hit. Stood his man up with that hip check along the boards. Well, now Steelers backing up in a 3-2 in this third period, keeping things tight in the neutral zone.
Levens to Balmas. Balmas chipped it past Jean-Bourgarat. Now Henbrandt. Kelsel. He's 1-on-3. Smartly just chips it in past Diffley. Puck management and game management, shift management, so important now to get the right matchups. Getting pucks in deep. Levens flips it out wide. Watling. He's all alone as well. Garat wins the puck back. 13:25 remaining in the third period. Sheffield and Panthers knotted at 2. A spot in the final of the EIHL 2025 playoffs up for grabs against the Cardiff Devils. Here's Niskala. And that's an icing call. Well, Niskala certainly looked to me like he got the red line there. See, he's arguing. Yeah, we're going to head down and take a little breather up here. Let's hear from the man on the scene between the benches. Let's bring in Chris Ellis.
That period was as animated as I've seen Aaron Fox all game. Obviously, he didn't feel that call with the goal that Masters made it 2-2. I think he felt that went against him. And obviously, when that call went against him and Panthers went on the power play, as you saw, he was really, really animated. He's still standing here, actually, shaking his head. So he obviously feels that things have gone against the Steelers in the past few minutes. But they have killed off that penalty that, as you guys said, was huge.
Yeah, you've got to use the momentum of that penalty kill now to just get back to playing your game, and certainly players feed off of that energy. So if you're yelling at the ref for too long, I mean, you got to make your point, no, but if you're yelling for too long, then the players start to come a little bit unraveled too. So you've just got to make your point and move on. And certainly, I look down at Aaron Fox and Carter Beston-Will. Now they're calm again on the bench, as is Danny Stewart and Linton Grant. So cooler heads must prevail, as a mistake at any juncture now from the next 12:45 could cost you a spot in the final. Usla turns and fires. It was under the glove of Grande, and Grande's going to cover up. Well, Ciampini's got to be careful. He just cross-check Niskala. Niskala is making fun of Ciampini for pretending he was hurt. And again, these are the fine margins. This is the shot from Usla. It skips out front. Let's keep an eye on Niskala and Ciampini.
Yeah, nice play from Usla, actually. Stops up, comes across, and gets a shot in there. Grande grabs it right there. Niskala gets jabbed, but he gets hit from his own. Then Ciampini gives him an extra shot there, so that's why he's going to react to that. It's intense out there. Not just the coaches getting into it.
Tremblay, who started off the scoring back in period 1. Balmus also on the board for the defending champions, Waugh and Stephenson. For the Nottingham Panthers, Levens turned the puck over to Waugh. Levens, good hand-eye coordination, stopped that pass from her to Waugh. Here's Marco Valorant. Valorant faked the slap shot, curls away from Zek, flips it into the corner. Tremblay to Levens. Levens pinned in by Zek. Tremblay works it along to Levens. Levens is a bull of a man. He tries to jam it home. Valorant there as well, as trying to get the blocker down on that was Grande. Valorant flipped it into the bumper position, and Zek kicks it along to her. Her into the corner. Huttala showing no ill effects of that hit by Alfaro in the second period. Sends it out. Buns couldn't get to it. Wickers will have to turn and rumble back into his own defensive zone. Bounces it to Buns. 11:30 remaining. 2-2 hockey game. Buns up the middle. Redirected on by Henbrandt. Diffley gets there first, and he's knocked over by Betteridge. Betteridge like a battering ram there into Diffley. Saucerman has room. Saucerman sends it up the left wing. Whistle. Got a blade on that to send it in deep. Here's Wickers against Balmus. Tucks in behind Grande. Buns, who had the big assist on the Stephenson goal. Here's Henbrandt, came off of his right skate blade. Watling jabbed at it. Bounced out front. Saucerman will settle things down for the Steelers as we approach the halfway mark of the third period.
Well, both teams going long through the neutral zone, just trying to tip it into the offensive zone, trying to get down the other end of the ice and trying to create some offense. Steelers have been very effective of getting behind the Panthers defense on the blue line, just getting pucks to the net there, like an example there.
Ciampini, he's been involved. He got tangled up with Jean-Borg Garat there. Let's head down again to Chris Ellis between the benches.
Yeah, just looking between the benches. Aaron Fox is calm again. He's an experienced coach. He knows what's needed in these biggest games, as does Danny Stewart. He's just gathering his Panthers players around, giving them some big instructions. A couple of fascinating things. You know, the way the Panthers bench was lifted with that goal, such a crucial moment to make it 2-2. And then really also just the weight with that goal, the waiting game. You know, the Steelers players were on the ice chatting to the linesman, pleading their case, saying it was no goal. You could see the Panthers players on my right-hand side just saying it's a really good goal. It was really interesting just to see the tenseness of both sides, because such a huge portion, a huge moment of the game, it went the Panthers' way, but this one looks like it's going the distance, doesn't it, guys?
Certainly has that feel. Chris Ellis, Danny Stewart, and Aaron Fox just calmly using this little break here to relay messages. But it's an important break too, isn't it, to just refocus?
It is, and every face-off now is going to be so important. Just don't want to give up an easy face-off in your defensive zone.
Alfaro trying to draw that back. Fossier will poke it past Tansey, but Tansey comes back. Sasha Guimont redirected on by Ciampini. Good stick there by Spencer, but then Spencer gave it away. A chance for Ciampini, armed away. The right arm of Grande got in the way there after a bit of a giveaway by the Panthers, but Spencer rumbles ahead, dumps it in over the blue line. Tansey gets there ahead of Fossier. Tansey, a safe pair of hands, starts the break out of now Usala. Grande thought about coming, and Grande will play the puck to the half wall. Fossier, as the fans aren't happy with Ciampini's, he ran into Grande. Grande makes the save off the shot from Guimont, and Ciampini's getting some extra attention from Jean-Bord Garat. Fossier gets the puck out of harm's way, but tell you what, Ciampini is certainly playing with a burr in his saddle here in the third period.
Yeah, he is. He goes to the net hard, and he plays hard down low.
Bouncing that out front was Herb. He's trying to bounce that off the left leg or the right leg of Greenfield. Here's Ciampini. Zek. That's a quick up by Zek to her, the captain. Well, Waugh is offside. Contos is going to have to wait for him to come back as 9:20 showing on the third period clock. 2-2 hockey game. Contos says he was tripped. Referees say play on. Her will dump it into the far corner, and Cormier will get there first. Cormier has to hurry, though, as Contos was coming, as was Hugo Waugh. Cormier does indeed hurry, and he's up the left side. Into the corner, Niskala finishes his hit. Her settles things down. The captain turns it up ice. Contos wants to make a change, and Her waits for reinforcements. Betteridge is over the boards. Her into the corner, leaves it for Betteridge. And now Stephenson tried to come back to Buns, and that's intercepted by Levens, but Stephenson came right back at him. Excellent work by Ollie Betteridge. And Betteridge rims it around. Diedrich Henbrandt trying to play it deep. Hudala gave it away to Henbrandt again. Balmus just flips it through the neutral zone. Good pressure there by the Henbrandt line.
Yeah, good pressure. And Betteridge has been good in this game. His low game down in and around the net in the corners. Been playing a tough game. He's made things happen for the Panthers when he's been out there on the ice.
Stephenson to Wickers. Back to Stephenson, the scorer of the second goal. 2 minutes into this third period, giving us that 2-2 scoreline with 8 minutes remaining in the third period. Whistle. Drops it back. Balmus gets it across, and Saucerman with a shot through traffic. It looked like it came off of Watling. Back the other way comes Alfaro. It skipped on him, and Diffley sends it on to Balmus. Balmus quickly ahead to Watling. Watling to Balmus. He's got a lane. Balmus couldn't get the shot away, and now there's going to be a penalty against the Panthers. And the Steelers fans below us react to that. Prime opportunity now. Well,
yeah, I mean, it wasn't a lot in that. I wonder if it wasn't a bit of an even up call.
Well, Alfaro is the penalized player, and this is a tense moment here with 7:33 remaining.
Yeah, big moment for both teams. I mean, the Steelers, a big opportunity for them in the power play. And the Panthers, they know they got to find a way to kill this one off. I don't think Danny
Slashing
Stewart
call on Alfaro.
is overly happy about that call, but he's still having a little complaint to the referee about it. Thinks that was a bit of a weak one. I don't think he was overly impressed.
Slashing call gives the Steelers their second power play of semifinal 2. Here's Valorant. Dowd chips it back to the point. Guimont to Valorant. Dowd's in the bumper position, but they're going to come back to the point. Guimont with a shot. It's redirected by Dowd on the way through, but the pad was there from Grande. Niskala against Watling. Kelsel got it to the point, no further. Here's Watling. Drifts to the top or the bottom of the circle. Comes all the way back to Guimont. Back to Watling. Watling lays it off. A well-worked play there, but not able to turn on it. Was Dowd. He just sent it wide on the glove side of Grande. Guimont to Valorant. Valorant with a shot. It's off the stick of Wickers and up and out of play.
Yeah, good play from Wickers, getting enough on that to take the shot away. Good puck movement though from the Steelers. Some little good plays down low. I mean, this is just where Wickers gets out quickly, closes the gap, gets his stick down, and deflects it up and over into the netting. I thought the Steelers made some good little plays like right there down low, but the Panthers did a good job in front of their net, just doing enough to take those plays away from the Steelers.
Whistle. Trying to pull it back. Spencer jumps through after the tie-up by Stephenson. Levens to the point, Balmas. Cormier. Whistle. Now Balmas, and a good stick again, this time by Stephenson, again sending it up and out of harm's way.
Yeah, absolutely right. Good job from the Panthers, just doing everything they can to get a tip on the puck or a leg on a puck or whatever it takes, and right there, I think Garat gets a piece of that one also. Just deflects that up and into the netting.
Big shout out to the GB under-18s in Asiago, sadly falling 4-2 in the gold medal against the host Italy, but we just got a text from our good friend Seth Bennett, who was supposed to actually do BBC Radio Sheffield, but his son Jonas is on the GB under-18s squad. A fine young defenseman is Jonas Bennett, so congratulations to Jonas Bennett and the entire GB U18 team. A silver medal, something to be proud of against the host Italy. Cormier with the shot, there's a chance in front. Wow, ties up, but Balmas goes looking for it. Cormier keeps the puck in, and that is an essential block there as Spencer sacrifices the body. 20 seconds remain on the power play, and better it sends it up and down.
Yeah, you were just wondering where was that puck going to go, but to the Panthers, to their credit, they just got to those pucks first and were able to clear the puck away from the front net and down the ice.
Back to the point, Cormier. Balmas. Henbrand got in the way. Cormier gets the shot through. Usula with the tip, but sends it wide. Kept in by Balmas. Alfaro's out of the box. 0 for 2 on the power play are the Sheffield Steelers, but they keep the pressure on. That's an ascent. That's a huge penalty kill. You talk about winning special teams battles. Huge kill by Niskala and the Panthers. Alfaro. And he's delighted because he was the man in the hot seat in that penalty box. Henbrand slides it into the corner. Now we're down to nail-biting time. 5 minutes to go, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it gets interesting, doesn't it? And one player for the Steelers who has been dangerous this whole third period is Usula.
There's a chance in front. Well, Fossier, who has been the danger man, especially in those quarterfinals, couldn't get the puck on target, but he's the type of guy that if he gets one look, it could be over. Here's Doherty, one of your ones to watch because he does a little bit of everything as well. And now he's being double-teamed, trying to activate the puck to Fossier. Fossier trying to find it. 4.5 remaining in the third period. Diffley sidesteps Alfaro. Diffley loses an edge, and now Alfaro will attack to the top of the circle. Comes back to Spencer. Spencer with a shot up and over the crossbar. You've got to hit the target there. It was a bit of a gift on the turnover. Now Doherty goes to the front of the goal. Tansey looked like he was hurt, but bounces right back up, and Doherty couldn't get a stick on that offering from Spencer. Fossier gets the puck through Diffley. I mean, they're sacrificing body and limb out here right now with 3:58 remaining.
Yeah, a lot of tired players on the ice on that shift. Steelers were just scrambling to try to get the puck out to get a change, and they did. Even a few of the Panthers players went off. They were on a bit of a long shift themselves, and this is where it's so important in this last stretch in this third period is the short shifts. You do not want to get caught out on the ice on a long shift.
Here's Niskala. Turns it up ice chest. Bit of back pressure there from Dowd, forcing Niskala to turn the puck over. Huttila. 3:25 remaining in regulation. 2-2 hockey game, semifinal number 2. Valorant flips it in for Usula. Zek bounces off of him, kicks it along to Her. Her gave it away to Valorant, and it's going to come up the wing, and Kontos will turn away. 3-on-2 now for Nottingham. Her joins the rush, slides it through to Kontos. Kontos, wow, the danger was there, but it fades away as Huttila closed him out. And a prime opportunity on the 3-on-2.
Yeah, really good job from the Steelers defense. They played it as a 2-on-2 on their left side and just didn't give Panthers time to get that pass across. A really good defensive play from the Sheffield defense on that 3-on-2.
Saucerman, D to D. Quick up to Balmus. That's going to come off of Wickers, and hope it didn't hit Chris Ellis between the bench. He's had a tough enough week with that sore finger, so we'll keep an eye on Chris Ellis. But Chris is playing hurt tonight, and that's, you know what, there's plenty of sore bodies out here. We won't disclose anything. We know a few things, and it's just the playoffs, isn't it? Everyone's got a bump and a bruise.
Yeah, it's hard to get to this stage of the season and not have some sort of little injury you're carrying, but no one wants to miss these games.
Levens tries to punch that through. It came off of Wickers and rolls end over end into the catching hand of Grande.
Oh, another big face-off coming up, this time in the Panthers' end of the ice. Straight away, Danny Stewart makes a quick change. Just to make sure he has the right guys out there on the ice in the defensive zone.
The happiest suite is the Cardiff Devils suite down there. They want overtime. They want these two teams to take lumps out of each other. As the Devils are already back at the hotel, I'm sure they've had physio, they've had hydration, they've had rest, proper meal. That earlier semifinal is a big advantage if you get through, because you've got that extra 4 or 5 hours of recovery. Here's Doherty with a chance. Oh, Fossier! Fossier! Fossier!
Well, you were just talking about Fossier. You'd mentioned if he gets a scoring opportunity, he can put one in the back of the net. And he finally gets a good chance, and he finishes it off for the Panthers. It wasn't the best pass for the Steelers coming out from behind their net. Panthers kept the puck in and were able to get a quick shot from Doherty in the slot area. Fossier came in and picked up the rebound and just buries it. Greenfield has no chance on that. What a big goal for the Panthers with 2:19 left on the clock. Bit of an errant pass from the Steelers zone. We talk about mistakes making a difference sometimes in these big games, and right there, Steelers cough that one up, and the Panthers take a 3-2 lead.
The key to that play is Doherty. The puck skips to him. He doesn't think about it. He rips it so quick that Greenfield is either going to get scored on or not be able to control the rebound, and that's exactly what happened. He couldn't control the rebound because Doherty's shot was on him so quick, and Fossier pounced. And is that the goal that sends the Panthers through to the grand final, looking for their first playoff title since 2016. 2 minutes to go in the third period. Fossier, Jean-Bord Garat, Spencer shot redirected by Doherty and out the other side. And certainly we'll keep an eye on Greenfield. He's looking over at Aaron Fox. When do you want me to come for the extra attacker? Cormier carries in. Cormier off the goalie paddle of Grande's stick. Greenfield still in the goal. Cormier sends it off of Dowd, and now he's gone. Greenfield's gone to the bench for the extra attacker. 1:30 remaining in regulation. 6-on-5. There's an empty net, and it's going to be kept in by Balmus. So Balmus with the chance up and over the crossbar. It's going to bounce in. It went in off. It looked like it came off of Spencer's glove. A circus goal with the goalie out for the extra attacker. Bounces around. It came off of the end boards and hit a Panthers glove, and it looks like Ciampini will claim the goal. But with 1:21 remaining, the drama continues. Well, maybe it's Balmus going to claim it, but it bounced off the end boards with such force, and then it looked like it came off of, whose glove does it come off of here? It looked like it came off of Alfaro, and Balmus tucks it home.
But again, it just like we saw the Steelers cough one up and not make a great play out of there, and the Panthers did the same thing, tried to flip it out through the middle of the ice. And I always talk about it, Murph. Keep the puck out of the middle of the ice when you're trying to get the puck out of your zone. Sheffield, of course, are going to have 3 players stacked on that blue line when you're trying to clear it. They're trying to keep the puck in. Both teams have made errors late here in the third period. We're all tied up again, Murph.
That is a huge error with 1:21 left. Mitch Balmus, his second of the game, third of the playoffs. And you're right, it just came off the boards with such force, and I feel for Alfaro. He's had a real good game. It bounced off of him and sat there. Balmus,
well, I was talking about the first play where the Panthers tried to clear the zone. They didn't get it out. And, you know, there's an old saying, one chance to clear. And both teams have not been able to get that puck out of their zone late here in the third.
And credit to Fox and Will, Carter Best and Will. They got Greenfield out for the extra attacker. Well, a redirect in front. Again, it's Doherty. And again, Greenfield squares up as Herr takes a shot at Hudla, takes a shot at Balmus. And with 44.9 seconds remaining, this is something else. Semifinal number 2, tied up at 3.
Again, the Panthers just throwing everybody to the front of the net. Herr's trying to get his stick on that one. But they've done a good job, a much better job in the second and third period getting to the front of the net, the Panthers. They struggled in the first period, but certainly in this third period, every time the puck gets to the blue line, the Panthers have 2 or 3 players in that shooting lane, making it really tough on Greenfield to see the puck. Big face-off here. Well, let's say almost 45 seconds left in this third period.
This is a huge face-off. Alfaro's been good, and he'll want to tone. He was kind of in front for that bobbling puck that Palmas sent home for the tying goal at 3-3. Wins it. Fossier rips it. Glove side. Bounces out. Garat gave it away to Cormier. Cormier to Whistle. Whistle in front, nobody home, but Champini will just turn and fire. Getting a stick on that was Tremblay, and it's going to be up into the mesh with 25.2 seconds remaining in regulation.
Well, Sheffield were aggressive. They jumped up into the play, created a 4-on-3. Whistle tried to get the puck across the crease. Maybe the best area was to go back into the slot. Obviously saw one of his teammates going to the net, but right there, if he gets it back for that one-time shot, could have been dangerous. But the play didn't happen. But again, Steelers aggressive, jumping up into the play.
Watling versus Alfaro. Watling wins it. Watling's tied up, and that allows Spencer to take over. Jean-Borg Garat, less than 20 seconds remaining. Fossier down the wing. He thought he was going to be the hero with 2 minutes remaining, but with the goalie out, 39 seconds after the go-ahead goal, a tying goal by Balmus, and it looks like we will have overtime. 3 seconds remaining. Cormier, the fans saying shoot. He does shoot, and it's gloved down at the buzzer by Grande.
Wow, what an exciting last 5 minutes in this third period. We thought it might go to overtime. It's going to go to overtime. Exciting 10 minutes of overtime. 3-on-3 hockey. I doubt very much this is going to go to penalties, but you never know.
Let's head down between the benches. Chris Ellis has an update on what has been a tense last few moments, Chris.
Yeah, well, I mean, that goal reminds me of a Panthers playoff goal in years gone by. I'll come to that in a minute, but yeah, both coaches have got their players around. Danny Stewart standing behind his bench, he's bending forward. Aaron Fox is just sat on the bench away to my left-hand side, and he's gathering a few players around. But some people watching may remember a Robert Lakovich goal, the year Panthers won all 3 trophies on offer. That was on the power play in the final. He shot the puck, came off the backboards, and it hit the net and then bobbled in off Stephen Murphy's back. It literally landed on the net, and then it bobbled in off Stephen Murphy's net. That gave Stephen Murphy's back. That gave Panthers a 1-0 lead. They went on to win that game 3-2. That was a crazy goal, shot high. Maybe he meant to shoot high for a deflection or something, off the backboards, I don't know. But, it was crazy the way that it went in. The Sheffield will take it any way they can, and we got ourselves overtime. 10 minutes, of course, of overtime in the semi-final.
Thanks for the update, Ellie. Shots on goal through 60 minutes, 41-23 in favor of the Sheffield Steelers. 38 saves from Grande. And we're off to overtime. It's 3-on-3, 10-minute overtime for a ticket to punch to the grand final. 2 goals, less than 2 minutes remaining. A goal from Fossier, and a minute later, Balmus with the goalie out. 3-3 through 3 periods of action. Spencer takes over, and we see so often it's the first real possession that's so vital in these 3-on-3 sequences. Contos forced out by Dowd. And Contos will curl back into the defensive zone. He's out there with Herr. And Spencer. Contos takes it on. Contos, a little bit of room opened up there. It's going to bounce off the skate of Balmus back to Herr. And now Herr has some room. Herr into a shooting position. Herr scores! The captain punches the ticket, and he waves goodbye to the Sheffield Steelers. Sam Herr, his last weekend as a professional hockey player, puts puck to twine, and it's oh so fine for the
for Danny
They're
Stewart.
off to the final. They win in overtime, 4-3.
Well, what a great play from her. He realizes the Steelers are out of position, so he attacks the slot area straight away. Dow tries to come across and make a play, but her reads it. As Dow goes down, he just goes around him. Quick little move. That's a great move from her. And he gets a quick shot away just inside the post on the far side, and he finishes it off. A lot of waving going on there. Hers waving.
That's for Watling. Watling, when he scored in the overtime against the Glasgow Clan, waved to the bench, and it became a bit of a social media, whatever you call that. And so that's a bit of, those things come back to bite you in the you-know-what, don't they?
Yeah, a bit of karma there, and you can see Grande was waving to the Sheffield Steelers fans. And I said before the weekend, could be Panthers' turn this time around. They hung in there, didn't have the best first period, but got better and better in the game. Once they got that first goal, you can see their confidence lifted. They played much better, had a good solid second period and a really good third period. I mean, it was quite a battle. Another big game between these two clubs. This time the Panthers, they haven't had a lot of luck against the Steelers in the last a few years now in these big games, and it's a big win for the Panthers, something they haven't done in a while against the Steelers.
Sam Hurd is 34 seconds into overtime, and for the captain, his first of the playoffs, and none more important, maybe the biggest goal for the Panthers in the last 3 or 4 seasons, as they will contest the playoff final, looking for their first playoff championship since 2016. There's Hurd. Well, you know what? Give the Steelers credit. Scoring with 1:21 left, a bit of a circus goal with the goalie out. Looked like they had the momentum, but I said it so often, it's the possession off the face-off in those 3-on-3s. If you get a look, and Sam Hurd, he announced that he's not going to be back in the league. He's not going to be back with Nottingham because he's got young kids and all that, but he scores an overtime goal to remember here, and there's one more big game for Sam Hurd as the captain of the Panthers. It's tomorrow at 5 o'clock against the Cardiff Devils. We will bring you that action live from 4:30 on Premier Sports. 5 o'clock face-off, the grand final from Motor Point Arena. And I think the Cardiff Devils are delighted that this took overtime, and I'm sure they're delighted there was lots of shot blocks and cross-checks and hacks and whacks.
Yeah, it was a real battle, and I like to see also the handshake here. Both these two teams, a lot of respect. I mean, they, when they're playing, they're not best of friends, but you can see the players having a good chat and good sportsmanship, especially from the Steelers. You know, when you lose a big game like that, it's easy to kind of run into the changing room or get away from the handshake, but every single player in the coaching staff for the Steelers is out there, and really respectful moment here from both clubs, who have two great sets of fans. This time the Panthers fans are getting to celebrate one over the Steelers. It hasn't happened that much, Murph, in recent years, so of course they're going to enjoy the moment, as will the Panthers. And a great hockey game.
It'll be 3 versus 4 from the league standings for the grand final. I don't think a lot of experts or fans on X or whatever were predicting that it would be Nottingham versus Cardiff and that it would be Sheffield and Belfast in the 3rd, 4th place game.
Well, I mean, like I talked about momentum coming in to this final weekend, and the Panthers had momentum, I felt, from the second half of the season, so they always had a chance of possibly winning this. It's far from over. You got to win the final to take the trophy home. But any one of these 4 teams that started this weekend could have won it, but obviously Cardiff were the better team against Belfast. There's no doubt about that. And this was a real close battle. This time the Panthers squeaked it out, got the big win, and move into the final.
Panthers were down 2-0 and get the overtime win. And we're going to hear from the main man himself. He's a first-year head coach of the Nottingham Panthers. Let's head down to Chris Ellis with Danny Stewart.
Danny, congratulations. Talk me through your emotions.
Well, I tell you what, they had us on the ropes in the first period, I'll tell you that. They were a much better team, but we chipped away, we got better as the game went on, and big third goal there by Foss to put us up, and you know what, unfortunate bounce there, we don't get a puck out, ends up in the back of our net. could have hung our heads there, but Big Sam here, our leader, our captain, came up big and got us the winner.
We'll come to that in a minute. You were 2-0 down. How did you have to keep the dressing room, the locker room calm?
We talked about just keeping our focus and riding the highs and lows. We got a great leadership group in that dressing room. All right, and we knew we can score in bunches, so we just chipped away. That was a big power play goal by Coop there to get us on the board. And then, you know what, we found a way.
And listen to this noise, it's amazing, isn't it?
It's unbelievable, it's electric.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
He was a warrior as a player. He was a warrior as an assistant coach in Fife. He was a warrior as the coach of the Blaze, and now he's got his new team through to a playoff final. Balmas and Fosse look to be the players of the game, and the Sheffield Steelers will support their traveling supporters or show respect to their traveling supporters. Vidi Vagno didn't play. He dressed, but you saw Vidi Vagno. This is a banged-up Sheffield Steelers team, so give them credit. I know Valorant was playing with a knock. There's so many guys who are, look, Champions League, to get out of the group in the Champions League takes a lot out of you. And they went down to the final 3 minutes of the season as well, looking to defend their league title, so that's a psychological hurdle when you lose. We talk about the Giants, when you win it, it's hard enough going down to the final 3 minutes of the league season. How about ending up second on the back of that and not retaining their cup or their league or now the playoffs? It's going to be a tough pill to swallow.
It is. I mean, at the end of the day, they were very competitive again this year. Didn't take home the silverware like you just mentioned, but it's tough to win every year, and they certainly weren't far off. But the Panthers, they've been playing good hockey. Second half of the season, probably the best team in the league, and they're riding that wave into the final.
And when the goalie Jared Bednard goes down, it could have crumbled their season, but Omar Pasha and Danny Stewart and Goody, everyone gets to work and goes and finds Jason Grande, who was huge. I mean, another big performance. 38 saves for Jason Grande. I mean, winners find ways, and they found a way of getting Grande in situ, and they're full value for this finals appearance.
Yeah, I mean, Grande was especially that first period where the team was under pressure. They only gave up the one goal on the 13 or 14, maybe it was more shots. Murphy remembers maybe was it 17 shots, yeah,
in the first period, and they were only down one.
I mean, Grande did his job in that first period to keep his team in it. And after that, Danny Stewart was right in saying, the team got better and better as the game went along, grew in confidence.
They grew in the game, didn't they?
Yeah,
they weathered a storm.
They weathered that first period storm, and were much more competitive in the second. Had a good, solid third period, and it takes top players to win you games at times, and Hurst certainly came up big for his team. That was a great move and a great shot finish to win it in OT for the Panthers. And it's been an exciting final. Nottingham and Cardiff. It'll be a great game tomorrow, Murph.
Well, it's huge, and Cardiff are, like we said, back in the hotel, licking their lips because they would have had that 4 or 5 hours extra. But this is a team now, you're in your own dressing room, you're sleeping in your own bed, you've got a lot of family and friends in the building because you are the hosts, and it's incredible what they could possibly achieve tomorrow under first-year head coach Danny Stewart. But first of all, let's hear from the man of the moment, the captain, the hero in overtime, Sam Hers with Chris Ellis.
Sam, I'm going to ask you to try and put that into words.
Yeah, great night. A little bit of a slow start. I think we were easing ourselves into the game, and they were coming out swinging. But after that, we found our legs, and we got on the attack. And, yeah, I mean, the atmosphere was great. I think we turned the crowd on our side. And then we just kind of took control of that game.
I've no idea what you're saying, it's so loud, but I talked to Danny Stewart in the just a few moments ago. At 2-0 down, did you just know the guys had it in them to respond?
Yeah, I mean, I think we started to see it the way we were playing. I think we were finding our legs a little bit as the game was going on. We started on the attack, and even though they scored that second one, we felt like we were in a good position. We just got to get that first one. Coop with a great shot got us on the board, and I think we were in control after that.
And also, the way you had to respond after one of the most bizarre goals you ever see, that showed perseverance.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of playoff hockey. You get weird bounces. Sheffield's not going to complain about that, so that's how it goes. We like I said, we felt like we were on the attack, so even going in overtime, we felt like we had the legs to close it out.
Right on tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, there's a man who has led by example, and this is his second stint with the Nottingham Panthers. Beloved captain Sam Herr, overtime winner, 34 seconds into the extra frame, if you will. It looked like it was done and dusted when Fossier scored with 2:19 remaining, but a minute after that, Balmus with the goalie out for the 6-on-5 sent us to overtime, and now Sam Herr writes his name into the history books. 41-24 the shots on goal in favor of the Sheffield Steelers, 32-29, so they did the little things to win a hockey game, but 0 for 2 on the power play, 1 for 3 on the power play for the Nottingham Panthers. Tremblay, Balmus with a pair for the Steelers. Well, Zek is still being credited with that power play goal. Looked like it was Hugo Waugh, Stephenson, Fossier, and Herr. Herr will be a goal talked about for years to come. Let's have a look back.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers get out of position, let's be honest, on that 3-on-3, and Herr takes advantage of it. He takes the puck to the middle of the ice. He makes a great move here, and he realizes he's got time and space, and he uses it to his advantage. Fake, come in, quick little shot, and Dowd tried to get a stick on it, just couldn't get enough of the puck. But Herr finishes it off, and like maybe you want to tell a story about the wave, but it was
Watling scored
finish.
in overtime against the Glasgow Clan to get to the final. On the aggregate, they needed overtime. The Clan were oh so close, and I think maybe Herr's gone. It was pretty unclassy for you to do that, Patrick Watling, so here you go. Here's a little bit of a karma sandwich as I wave you goodbye to that third, fourth place game. But look, it's the heat of the moment, isn't it? It's his last weekend as a player. I think he looked up and went, oh my goodness, I have so much time here.
Yeah, I mean, it was the wrong guy. If you're the Steelers, for that puck to land on his stick in that situation, you just give a great player too much time on the puck, and he's going to make you pay. And that's exactly what Herr did there. Great shot, great finish, and the Panthers are on the way to the final. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting
that wave,
final.
well, you hope now, like you do that to Watling and the Steelers, you hope it doesn't get you tomorrow. I mean, I'm sure the Cardiff Devils will file that away.
Yeah, but I will say one thing about Watling. I thought he was Sheffield's best player on the ice, and one of the Sheffield's best player on the ice in the game. He had a good performance. So, I mean, obviously, sometimes, like you say, it's the emotion. You know, you might wave or do something after you score a big goal. It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Everyone has that moment where it's elation. It's you're back on playing road hockey or pond hockey, and you always dream of an overtime winner. And whether you're Watling, deservedly so, against Glasgow, or tonight punching your ticket through the final in front of your own home barn, I mean, you had to give those players that emotion. We'd be pretty annoyed if players weren't emotional and didn't show some sort of entertainment value after a big goal like that.
Yeah, of course you're going to be excited, and we've seen players do much worse than that. And but I mean, of course you're going to be pumped up. And why he thought about that at that moment, I have no idea. But maybe, like you said, there was so much talk about it that it just happened instinctively. But
bulletin board fodder. Guys file things away and go, okay, well, there's a bit of arrogance in that, so maybe if I get an opportunity, I'm going to wave them goodbye. I don't know. Look, it is what it is.
But it was another great game between the Steelers and the Panthers. What an exciting evening, and I'm sure we'll have a great final also.
What another chapter in that Steelers-Panthers rivalry, and another chapter to be written as the Cardiff Devils looking to get back. They won the Continental Cup, looking to add another trophy, and the Panthers looking for their first playoff title since 2016. They did win the Continental Cup in 2017, but looking to get back to major silverware in the EIHL. It's going to be some kind of Sunday afternoon from Nottingham.
It is, and wow, I mean, both these two teams need a trophy. I mean, both of them want to walk away with that final win tomorrow. I can see it being another great game like this. I don't think it's going to be. There'll be a goal or two in it at the most. I mean, both these two teams will match up quite well. The Devils and Nottingham. I think Nottingham have had a bit of an edge over the Devils here in Nottingham, so that could play to their advantage in the end.
Cardiff with a 5-0 win, eliminating the Giants in their hunt for a treble, and a 4-3 overtime win for the Panthers over the Steelers as they knock the defending champions out and send them off trophyless into the Nottingham night. A really good team, the Sheffield Steelers, but maybe a lot of hockey with the Champions Hockey League and the clock striking midnight, so to speak, on the roster, and a lot of guys playing banged up. So credit to both the Giants and the Steelers, who have to dust themselves off. No one really wants to play in that third, fourth place game, but they'll have to be professional and do that. And for the Devils and the Panthers, it's all to play for. We will be live on Premier Sports Television from 4:30 p.m. with the pregame show. Face-off in the 2025 Grand Final comes from 5 o'clock at a sold-out Motorpoint Arena for Paul Adey, Chris Ellis, and the entire Elite League TV crew. Thanks for allowing us into your homes on this fine Easter weekend. Happy Easter to all of you watching, and it's a good night from Nottingham. Keep your head up and your stick on the ice. Goodbye for now until tomorrow. We'll see you for the final.